I keep thinking we're about to go.
Is that the intro music?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are we gonna get like a countdown or something?
I think so.
No.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
You get 10 seconds of silence.
Yeah, let me just test all your levels. Can you guys just speak about as loud as you can speak?
Hola.
You said speak as loud as I can speak, or I'm going to speak.
As you're going to speak.
Oh, this is it.
Microphone check, check, check.
Damn, this shit is clear.
What, the audio?
Yeah, I hear me like sucking on my gums and shit.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready if everybody else is ready.
Hold on, I'm gonna finish chewing. My bad.
Keep it as authentic as possible. All the chewing, everything. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all do that?
Yeah, curse, everything.
I can curse too.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
man.
Okay.
I usually eat, but
No, you don't.
I mean, like last few times we had food, I saw myself in the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I was eating.
10 seconds of silence, and then we good to go. Ready?
Yeah. Check, check, check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means you're now tuned into chapter 81 of the Introverted Intuition podcast. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster. I'm very, very sick. I'm not very sick. I'm being mad dramatic. That's like the joke that women say that men are mad dramatic when they're sick. But I'm sick, okay? To my left, I have Miss Laney.
Hello, 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 hello.
I was very excited to do this episode/interview tonight with you, Laney, specifically because we haven't done a solo episode together
We
ever.
haven't. No, this is our first time.
I feel like you're like the most mysterious one out of the group, so that's why.
For real? Why
Yeah.
is everybody?
Cause you don't be like.
I go missing a lot. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
I'm like,
I need a lot of me time. Like I need a lot of recharge time.
but we do this once a week. Like a week isn't enough.
I need like 3 weeks of recharge time sometimes. And it's not because like I just have this toxic, crazy life. It's just that I get so many people negative energy,
Yes.
and I feel it so much that I always have to constantly recharge.
Heard you. Well, I'm happy you're here tonight. Thank you for coming.
Hello, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And across from me, we have a very special guest. Someone I reached out to about a few months ago. Shout out to Instagram Explore page because that's how I even found your page to get your email to reach out to you. Someone I quickly became a fan of his work and the energy based off the conversation we had earlier before even getting on the mics. You seem like you have good energy and you're a good person. So please introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, everyone? My name is Gerard Anderson, but they call me JD. And yeah.
What do you do for a living? Tell the people.
So for a living, I shoot photography. I'm a full-time photographer. Fashion portraits mainly. Commercial right now. Looking to branch more into the fine arts sector of it. But yeah, been shooting for 3 years now. Full-time 2 years now. So
Nice. And is that your main occupation? You have like an actual job, like when you're on payroll?
Nah, I am my payroll. Nah, I shoot full time. I mean, I have like a brand and stuff, so I have like merchandise and other stuff on my website, like e-courses and just like Photoshop tools and Lightroom stuff. But I mean, the brand is photography. I'm a photographer full time.
Gotcha. What's like your history with podcasting? Like, do you listen often to podcasts when you need your free time?
I listen to everything. Excuse me. I do listen to podcasts. Like I was telling you earlier about the app that I use, Overcast. That's really been saving me because I'm used to like I said, listen to sped up podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that Overcast works, like I said, it cuts out the dead time, so it's a little bit more flawless listen. And so I've recently been listening to more podcasts. My favorites at the moment is Smart Passive Income and Trapping Anonymous with Chris Styles is super fire.
Oh, we just had him on like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, where Chris Styles is here?
Yeah.
Yeah, his shit is super fire.
Yeah, it's a dope concept. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Lainey, when you first walked in, you said you perused his Instagram page. What did
I
you
did.
What did you learn when you looked through his Instagram page?
Actually, I'm surprised because looking at you and then seeing, and it's one of those things. I don't want to be rude because you're very handsome,
Thank you.
so don't take this the wrong way. But you know how it's Instagram versus real life.
Yeah,
You're like
I catfished you.
you didn't catfish, but it's just like you seem like such the homely boy next door. Like you have such this. You look like you're 18 as I'm sitting right here in front of your face.
I just don't have facial hair. Is all it is.
And then on Instagram, you just look like this big man. Like, and I'm not saying you're not a big man. I'm just saying that, okay, you look so sweet and innocent. And I'm sure that's not the case.
I just don't have my goals in right now. I lost my goals.
Okay, that's what it is. Maybe that's what
Yeah,
it
I'm missing
is.
my
Maybe
goals.
that's what it
I'm
is.
going on a cruise in a few weeks. I was like, I'm just gonna wait till I get back. But yeah. Damn, I really need to grow some facial hair because I feel like a
No,
baby.
it's good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
If
But
you
you're
can't-
only, how old are you? You're only,
26.
yeah, you're still a baby in a sense. Well, not a baby,
I'm
but
sick.
you're a toddler.
Oh damn. What's an adult? When do I become an adult?
Listen, adults, you can be adulting all your life, but that don't mean you're maturely an adult, mentally an adult.
You're right. I felt like I hang with a lot of older people though, so I feel like I'm older.
You have an old soul.
I have
too.
an old soul. Yeah, most of the people. I graduated high school early, so
Don't speed up because that's part of my questions for you too. So
Oh,
don't-
my bad,
don't-
my bad,
Don't
my
speed
bad.
me up, okay?
My
All
bad,
right.
my
It's hard
Let me
going through a
flow.
photographer's Instagram page because you don't know who is in charge of the page. You see all these like face shots and like photos of other people, so it's kind of hard to even distinguish whose Instagram page is this.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But going before the Instagram page, before the facial hair, whatever. Let's start about your journey from the beginning. You're originally from Florida.
Yep, Florida boy.
What part of Florida?
From Sanford, Florida. It's a small city outside Orlando, but I went to school in Tampa, University of South Florida.
Can you recall like your first memory of getting interest in photography?
Shit, after I mean, it was recent. I just started shooting like 3 years ago. I wasn't shooting at all when I was in Florida. Like,
Okay.
Shit.
yeah, I just started shooting when I moved to
So
New York.
what made the transition? Like what pushed you towards that?
I was broke, yo. I was super broke. So I used to, so I bought the camera. Let me take this back. So I bought the camera prior to moving up here. I used to do day parties back in Tampa. I used to host events in Tampa. And I was in charge of the company and stuff like that. And I remember I was going over the budget with one of my homies, and we were just like looking at numbers. And I was spending all my money on my budget on like photography. And they's like, "Oh, you should just get a camera and shoot yourself." So I was like, "All right, yeah, I'll do that." But like I said, it's my company, so I'm in charge of like working the door, working the bar, checking tickets, like just shaking hands, kissing babies, politicking. you feel me?
Yeah.
And so now I got to take photos too. So I had the camera and I wasn't using the camera. So the camera was literally collecting dust. And I ended up and moving to New York in 2015 and ended up getting a part-time job. And I was talking to one of my homegirls and I was like broke. And I was like, I need to make more money. She had seen the camera. She's like, why don't you shoot? So like, oh yeah, I guess I'll do that. So my original plan was like just like going like Craigslist and like, yo, I do your LinkedIn headshots for like $25.
That's
whatever.
a good hustle, damn.
Yeah, I mean, I was broke.
Yeah.
I was really broke. And yeah, so that was my original plan. And so I started shooting. I mean, first, just the usual coffee cups and tourists walking by and pigeons and random shit. And then eventually I started getting people, like I was like, yo, let me hit my homies up and like, yo, pull up, let me like shoot you. Start shooting on Instagram, how it goes, switch your bio. I'm a photographer, booking info in the bio.
Yeah.
And now people was really rocking with it. And yeah.
That's so dope because I also like going through your feed. I saw that you had finessed the industry with your 55 millimeter for so long,
super long.
and then you were just like, "Damn, I gotta rent a new lens." So, tell me about that. Like, what shoot made you feel like you had to rent a lens, and when you rented the lens, what happened after that? Like, did you feel the need to invest in better lens as you keep going in your photography journey?
Nah, I feel like the tools was like good. I was doing like the campaigns I was shooting before, like companies I was working with. I was shooting all their campaigns with a 50 millimeter, so it wasn't like an issue. The first campaign where I actually got the chance to use another lens is when I was working on the Strivers Road, which is another company I'm a creative director for. But we had a campaign that we shot for Black History Month. Black Business Month in August. Black History Month is February. Black Business Month is August. So we did a campaign in August on Black Business Month, and we just had a budget. So I was like, "Yo, throw that lens on there."
But you just you recently just started doing photography, right? So like, how did you gain the confidence to want to go forward with this journey?
Are you
Because like,
self-taught when it comes to pictures? And
Yeah, YouTube, Google's.
Because like there's no linear trajectory to like you making money with that. So like how'd you find the confidence to want to be like, yo, I can do this? Was it a certain opportunity or someone was like, yo, you really good?
Like full time.
Yeah.
So the situation with full time is so crazy because like I tell the story often, and it's like it doesn't sound real. It sounds like a Disney Channel, but I really just prayed on it, yo, and it worked out. So my situation was like I said, I had got a part time job here in New York. I was doing social media marketing for this company in Queens, and I used to live in the Bronx before moving to Brooklyn. I lived in the Bronx, Parkchester, Castle Hill, super deep, like 13 stops just to get into Harlem, all local.
Yeah.
And then once you get into Harlem, it's like another like 25 stops just to. And I worked a lot out of Brooklyn. Most of my shoots was in Brooklyn and stuff like that. So I was just, like I said, super deep. And I just really didn't like my job. It wasn't wavy. I wasn't doing nothing cool. I felt like being from Florida, the cost of living was so cheap. And I basically came up here and like tripled my cost of living. I was doing the same shit I could have been doing back home. So I was like, yo, this is whack. And so, yo, it was crazy because it was like another one of those waking up in the mornings. I got to go to work. Like, damn, I hate this shit.
It's me every day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, nah. And it happened, yo. So I was like, by this time I was already shooting for like a year. It's been like a year now. And I was just over this shit. And I'm just like, I was just talking to God. Like when I pray, it's not really prayer. It's just like conversation, like just having a conversation. And I was just like, yo, man, if it's time for me to like dip and go full time for photography, like send me a sign. Just true story too. So I'm on the train. I'm on the bus going to the train, whatever. I check my emails, and I got an email from my homegirl, and she was just like, "Hey, are you available to do some headshots for my company, which is a marketing agency, and we do like some professional headshots, like 30 people." So I'm like, "All right, bag, easy." So I was like, "All right, do this," and that was a very good paying gig. And this is me like going on the train, and so I'm going to ground, whatever. I lose signal, lock that gig in, and then I get off the train. I'm checking my emails going into work. I get another email from my homegirl, and she's just like, "Yeah, we're looking for photographers." She worked for this company, this Drug Policy Alliance company, whatever. She's like, "We're looking for a photographer, like this 10-day trip. We're going like all across New York, like Bronx, Syracuse, what else we did? Rochester, Albany. We just went all over New York where we need a photographer for 10 days. Are you down to come?" I was like, "Yeah, bag." So go get that. And so I got those two emails like within like an hour of me saying that. And those 2 gigs, those 11 days worth of work was more than I had made like in 4 months at my part-time job. Because I was only making like $18 an hour. I was working like 20 hours a week. I was literally getting checks for like $500, like $600. I'm like, bro.
Rough.
Yeah, super rough. So I made like 4 or 5 like months worth of pay in 11 days. I was like, all right, bet, I got to sign. And I ended up making sure everything, that was like a Thursday, whatever. I made sure everything was good over that Friday, like got the contract, signed everything. And then Monday I came in for my 2 weeks and dipped. And I've been shooting ever since.
that's kind of what's up. That's like really dope.
Yeah, crazy.
It seems like yo, go ahead.
Hard work meets. What's that shit they always say?
What?
That dumb shit, but then you see it happen. Oh, that shit is true. Hard work meets opportunity.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have a really like strong like hustler's mentality. I mean, outside of getting the money, like you were down for the experience as well. Like, was that like embedded into you as a kid, or did you just naturally always have that attitude of like I got to do what I got to do to get to where I want to be?
I mean, I always been a businessman. I went to school for business. I was in college.
That was my next question. What did you go to school for? Because for you to be photography is all about the eye, and everybody has a different eye in a sense. So then you mentioned, I saw you in your profile, you went to Art Basel, so you're very much into fine art. So it's just like, from college to now, was you always creative and artistically formed? Like,
I mean, I went to school for marketing, so that's like something. But I've always done like creative like stuff. I always like back in college, I taught myself how to do websites and graphics. I used to do another company. Where I had to teach myself how to make a website. So I made my own website and I did graphics and logos and stuff like that. And I've just always been in some type of using my mind, being artsy, creative, trying to quote unquote like sell something to somebody. I did email marketing, SEO marketing, like all types of marketing. So like just trying to figure out what like attracts people, whether it was visually or through like text or something like that, audio. Just trying to figure out what attracts people, and it just, I guess, visual was just my
your
calling.
gift.
Yeah.
Your gift you didn't know you had.
Yeah,
that's
didn't even know.
That's so dope.
Are you an only child? It's a random question.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So my mom and dad are separated, Well, they was never really together. That's a long story. I'm my mom's youngest and my dad's oldest.
Okay, because I always wondered about people who have like this creative passion very young. Because I'm an only child, and I feel like because I had the time to do that, I had no distractions, no siblings running into the room distracting me. So I was just curious about that. Do you like so? Even your transition from Florida to New York, like how did that happen? Like how did you get the funds to do that? Like just from the making the money from hostings and all that, or was it a deeper story?
It's so crazy because like I said, I used to host events and self-funded whatever, and I ended up putting all my money in my own events. And I moved up here on August 25th of 2015. It was a Tuesday, and I hosted an event that Saturday before. And the place that I hosted it at, I put like a deposit down. It was like 3 bands down, and it was a outdoor venue. It ended up raining, and I lost all my money. So I moved up here like $150. Yeah, I have like a picture. Like I came up with a backpack. Like true story. I came up with like a backpack and like 2 pairs of shoes and like no place to stay. The typical Dollar in the Dream New York story.
Yeah.
And I ended up moving up here. Had a spot that I was supposed to get. That fell through. Typical New York story. That fell through. Luckily, I had some friends up here already, so crashed on my homeboy's couch for like a week, 2 weeks. Called my mom Dukes, and of course, being a concerned parent, she found me my spot up in the Bronx, which was like a family friend, whatever. So I was staying up in the house in the Bronx, and until I got my feet together. Like rent was super cheap. Everything was like pretty situated for me when I got there, so that was able me to like get my feet on the ground and find my first job and like stack up and shit.
That's dope. My perception of people from the South who've like never, or did you come to the city often, like when you were younger, or like from that transition, or never?
I used to live in the city when I was a jit, but I don't claim it because I was just so young.
Gotcha.
My mom, like I said, my mom and dad are separated.
That's
Florida.
Florida turn.
Yeah.
I only know that because of YouTube. Some YouTube series I was watching, and they kept saying calling the kids jit, and I had to look it up. Like, what the fuck is jit?
Jitterbug. Little
Do
jitterbug.
people know how to?
Jitterbug.
Oh, that's
That's
what
what
you're
it
short
means,
for.
jitterbug.
Yeah, jitterbug.
That's cute.
Yeah, little jitterbug.
Actually, I think I heard the rapper JID. I think that's
Yeah,
why
Jid.
how he got that name, JID. Like,
I think I did listen to his like explanation on that. He did say something about like
his grandmother called him like
Jid.
he's real jittery when he was a
Yeah,
kid.
Jid, yeah.
I always wondered if people knew how to like spell the slang that they're saying. Like, I know sometimes they're short for something else, but I feel like most of the time people don't know how to spell it
You
properly.
sound it out.
Yeah.
But I feel like the internet has a great way of making you realize what certain slang is, how certain slang is spelled. Because it was something I was reading one day. I was like, yeah, that's how I would spell it too. Like, I know what that is.
Yeah.
I know that sound, but it's a whole word, but it's a sound.
I feel like you can't dictionary.com JID though. Maybe you can. I don't know.
I think you can.
Urban Dictionary. You
or
can.
Urban
Yeah.
Dictionary. Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably get jitterbug up off in the dictionary, but you probably won't get jit. It's a Florida thing.
That's crazy. So like, when did you start noticing the progression of your photography career? Was there a certain photo that went viral, or a certain company you
I have a few I love.
collaborated with?
Which one did you love?
Well, the one recently, I don't want to say the black female with the afro, with the floral. All those pictures you posted, I love every
Oh,
single last one.
new Mona Lisa.
Yeah,
New Mona
the
Lisa.
new Mona
Yes,
Lisa. Yes,
Okay, I was like, which one was
yeah.
that? Okay, yeah.
And I love that you even named it the new Mona Lisa. I thought that was really, really dope.
Oh, thank you.
I love the opposites with the man and the female.
Duality.
The dualities. I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have wanted to see some more like I don't want to say evil, but a darker side to the dualities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I got duality part.
I saw you took some photos. You went to Cuba that were pretty dope.
Thank you. Yeah,
It is a very dope life.
that was a family cruise.
Oh, still
Yeah.
dope though.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cruise. That was dope. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out like when did I guess not the bag, but like when did the growth start? Like was there a certain photo that went viral around the world, or
My first like viral photo. I mean, I feel like people didn't start taking me serious with my photography stuff until I shot my visual story called Black Angels. I shot that in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that was the first one people saw. I'm like, oh shit, okay, you do be taking photos. And then my first viral one is called Tranquil. That one was like inspired by Solange, whatever. It was like really like pastel-y and like flowy. And that one is like still like getting like played around the world. Like when we was talking earlier about like artists getting their stuff stolen, like that photo's been stolen so many times. Like I get probably a text a day, text
Damn.
every other day, like, hey, I see your photo. It's everywhere, yo. It's like everywhere, like blogs, fitness.
How does that make you
Instagram.
feel?
I used to care, but I just got too much shit on my plate to be caring about that. And like I was saying earlier, It's not big enough for me to be concerned. I mean, obviously it sucks, whatever, but it's just part of the game at this point because a lot of these people that's stealing the photos or using the photo or stealing it, but whatever. They're like,
Or they claiming it as theirs, or they're not giving.
not even giving me credit. Yeah, it's more so a credit thing. I mean, it's licensing too. We get into like the bag, but
Yeah.
it's credit too. Like we can start off like the little things, like we on like ethical, whatever. But like they don't give credit, and so that's like kind of frustrating. But the fact that people see the photo, because I don't be following these pages and stuff. People see the photo, they'll hit me up. Like,
But to know that it's shared on that wide of a platform, like yes, that part sucks. Like
yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
But it's still being shared, and people like your work is still inspiring other people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I put out there for, to inspire people. So it's doing its job. It's just like they don't know who's inspiring them, but it's like, yo, I know I did it. I know I took that photo. That's kind of like my mindset. Like I know I shot that, and so.
Could you take legal action at some point if it got too crazy? Like, okay, this photo has been taken by a company, like let's say Adidas or some shit. Like,
Oh yeah, I wish Adidas would.
Like-
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like the people that's taking the photos are like small, like blogs and like fitness individuals, and like they don't have no budget, so it's like it's not that deep. But like I said, if Nike's like, if I went on the website and see Nike,
getting that lawsuit.
I'm like, oh,
Ready
I
up.
saw
Got
your
you.
Nike campaign too.
yeah.
I liked your so you're a great fan of Michael Jordan. I see.
I actually, when I said the GOAT, I was talking about Kobe. You talking about the?
Oh, he said Kobe.
Yeah, I am. I mean, Kobe's my. Which campaign are you talking about? The one I shot, or the one I was in?
Well, was it one and the same?
I shot a couple Nike campaigns, and I was in a
Right.
campaign.
So
The
I
black
was
and
about
white
the
one.
one he was in. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was talking about the GOAT. I was talking about Kobe at that time.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah, which sucks though because like when I did
people
that,
just assume it's MJ, but
nah, MJ cool too, but he's not my era. Like I didn't watch MJ. I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched.
I hold Magic at a higher standard than Jordan at times. I guess we're talking about certain specifics, but just personally for me, Magic, he's not my era either. But like,
Yeah,
I think he's the GOAT in
Yeah.
my eyes.
yeah, nah.
okay.
How did that opportunity come about? Like to shoot and be in Nike?
How did I shoot for Nike?
Yeah, like how did that opportunity come his way? Like was it another sign from God? Like
Oh,
you
nah.
talking to God again on the train?
Oh shit, no, that's crazy.
Like
Yeah,
He don't mean a guy. He don't mean it like that.
nah, it's crazy because I really do be talking to God.
no,
So-
I respect it.
No, because the crazy thing is, when you say it like that, it's wild because I really just be talking it to fruition. But the story with that is I was on a vacation last summer on this trip called Yacht Week. Best trip of my life. If y'all ever hear about Yacht Week, please go.
You made me want to go. I saw it today. I was like, well, what the hell is this? Like, I need to figure out. I just need a whole new life out
Yo,
here.
Yacht Week is the best trip. If anybody ever talks to you about Yacht Week and they even mumble anything that starts with a Y and a W,
Just go.
Yeah,
Just
Yacht, Yacht Week is amazing. It was the best trip of my life. But I was on that trip and like, drunk on the trip. And you're like, yo, I need to do better. And so I was just thinking about my life and what I was making out of it. And before that, I was shooting mainly like individuals, like bloggers and influencers and little mom and pops. Like I said, little small people. And I was like, yo, I need to like make more money and I need to be doing more work, whatever. So I was like, I want to shoot more commercial stuff. And I said this like out loud, like on the boat, drunk, whatever. I was like, yeah, when I get back to New York, I'm gonna start shooting more commercial. And no cap, like I went to Paris after the trip was in Croatia. We went to Paris afterwards. I was in Paris and literally like I was about to get on the airplane and I got a call from my homie. And she was just like, yeah, what are you doing on Saturday? I was like, nothing. She's like, yeah, you want to shoot Jordan? I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. And then, so I shot with Jumpman first. And then after I shot with Jumpman, I had another homie that worked at Nike. And he hit me up. He's like, yo, great work, whatever. I see you in the Nike system now. I was like, yeah, I'm going to shoot you some work. And he shot me some work. And we just been.
Power of the tongue, power of intention. Like I feel like a lot of our interviews, that's one thing we've been like able to highlight on, and not even purposely because it just comes out on its own, is that you really do have control of your own life. You really do have to create the life that you want, and it all starts with the power of your tongue and how you think about it and what you do after your thoughts.
The universe really is listening, no matter what you're
Yes.
saying, even
God,
about yourself.
universe,
Like
yeah, he's listening.
for sure.
Facts.
But that's kind of like a more spiritual thing, like, but you mentioned God a lot. So, like, what do you identify as? Do you identify as kind of a religious individual or spiritual?
I just say God because it's easier. I mean,
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, I'm a spiritual person. I'm not like in the church. I grew up in the church, but I haven't been to church in years.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I just got to the point where, like, I believe in a higher power. Like, I'm definitely not here by my strength alone. It's someone definitely guiding me and blessing me with these opportunities and stuff. I just say God because it's easiest. That's what I was taught. But
For sure.
the church, it's a crazy place.
So when you're doing these shoots with people, how do you make them feel comfortable with the camera in their face? Like, do you try to guide them through it, or do you just let them rock out? And
photos be like organic as fuck. Yeah, I just like you talking about like clients or like
Yeah, like
anybody?
when you're just shooting someone like for a campaign or something, you're like you got to make them feel comfortable, right? I feel like the majority of people don't really feel comfortable in front of a camera.
Yeah, I mean, if it's my campaign or something like that, like a Nike or Jordan campaign, they're giving me the models and they're models, so they're good.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if it's like an individual, like someone who doesn't shoot on the normal, I mean,
Yeah, like when you're doing those mom and pop
yeah,
shoots
mom
and
and
shit.
pop. I mean, I just bring a speaker. I try to just be mad casual, mad chill. I don't be too up. Like when I'm shooting, I let them. Oh, I let them see the photos often. Like when I shoot like 3 photos. Like, yo, check these photos out. So I want to see, like, because I don't want you to come home afterwards and I see your photos afterwards and you see them like, oh, they're trash. I'm like, nah. You seen all these photos, yo. Like you saw what was coming out, and they feel a little bit more comfortable, like it's like conversating. Like I said, I talk before we start shooting, so it's not like I'm just like pull up, hey, I'm Gerard, let's get it going, whatever. Like I ease my way in and pause, and yeah, just like make them feel comfortable.
So you don't like guide them, be like, oh, pose a certain way, like get in the light,
Nah.
this shade of light on your face or whatever. Like,
I mean, yeah, I'll tell them what looks awkward. I mean, again, I just whatever. If it looks awkward, you doing it. If you
Yeah.
doing it doesn't feel organic, it's gonna look awkward on camera. Like the poses that if you look at my Instagram, it's like I'm not having to do like outrageous poses. Like it's they're standing and the angle might be some way, and I might tell them to like turn their back a little bit or something like that. But I'm not guiding them like, yo, put 2 fingers up and turn your toe counterclockwise and all this stuff. Like it's just all just go with it.
When this podcast pops and we eventually start doing more photo shoots and all that, I'm gonna need someone to like guide me, man, because I'm gonna look so awkward.
Oh,
like
no.
I'm gonna feel so uncomfortable. Like
Oh, you go on my website. I got a
Jeff
guide.
has the same.
a guide.
Yeah, I got a guide on how to do photo shoots. I got a lot of blogs and stuff like that. So I got a.
Whoa. Okay, so what's in the guide? Can you recall like a chapter from it or?
Oh, it's just an ebook. It's not no book.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like it's
I
like
got
it's
you.
like 9 tips or something like shit. But nah, I can't remember shit off that guide.
Oh,
right
nah.
now. Yeah, you put the pressure on me.
Can you recall one of your best shoots and one of your worst ones?
One of my best shoots.
In terms of like how you felt afterwards, like did you felt like yeah I killed it, and then another shoot where you feel like I didn't do that good.
I mean, my favorite shoot. I mean, my best shoot as of now is obviously Duality, just because it's my most recent one. And that was my biggest like collab. So it was like 11 people in that project. So it was me, the videographer, who actually just texted me. It was 2 videographers actually. I had 2 models, a stylist, a makeup artist, a hair person, a set director.
That was my next question. How? Because I really love the fashion choices for dualities. How on hands are you with the choices, or you just leave that up to the stylist?
It depends on the
Or
project.
was you like really hands on with like, no, this is what like? Did you give her a vision of what you see? It matters to patterns and material, or you were just like free reign and then you went from there?
So I create mood boards for my photo shoots. So I send everybody a mood board showing like what the style, the fashion style was gonna look like, what the hairstyles gonna look like, what I want the makeup, the set, like everybody. So everybody that was on the team got a different assignment, basically like what my vision was. For that project, that stylist, I actually went to the store with her. So she was picking everything up, whatever, and I was like I didn't really care. 'Cause I'm not no fashion. You can see me. I'm not no fashion guy. So like, I what I told them before the shoot, I tell all my people for the shoot is kind of like, to me, especially like collab projects like that. Like to me, it's just like I'm just like I have a kitchen. And
Yeah.
everybody has their own chef. They own got their own sauce, their own flavor, whatever. And I want them to all come in like we gonna collab on a dish, whatever. And I want everybody to do what they do and put their own seasoning and they touch on it and like go off, whatever. And we present it as a whole, whatever. So that's kind of like. I let everybody rock out. So I presented what my vision was and like took that and let them take that to their own interpretation.
Yeah.
And we made that. But for the most part, I just let everybody cook because it's not my place. I focus on what I do best, which is photography, and I let the hair and the makeup and the styling people do what they do because that's their gift.
A little bit more about dualities. What was the mental going into that? Like, why that concept? What was you trying to show with this series?
So I started that series off with the first thing that was just opposite attract. That was like the first like go off, and then so from there I just went like opposite colors and opposite textures, and just like it was like odd place, but it still went together. I don't know. It was just
Do you feel like opposites attract in real life?
in balance, yeah, on some yin and yang shit.
There's yin and yang in all parts of life, in my opinion.
So
terms
with
of-
that being said, because you know this show is called Introverted Interception, so we talk a lot about
Intuition, man.
Mental, well, you're right. Sorry, my bad.
Jesus.
Listen, and I kept writing it down, and then I don't know. what
Introverted
happened.
intuition.
And you know, any other day I say intuition. Okay.
Continue.
With that being said, yeah, a little off today. With that being said, with the show, we do like to touch bases a lot about mental health and how people feel. So I just want to, do you feel in your life everybody around you is a balance to you on some level? Was that also able to help you succeed? Because you also keep saying that your homie hit you up. A lot of your connections came through people you already knew.
Yeah, all my connections came through people I know. I wouldn't be here right now if it was for my friends. Like 95% of business I do is like from referrals and stuff. I don't. Before I used to be on Instagram and book me, all that stuff, and send an email blast and stuff like that. And now it's just like people hit me up because like, hey, I seen your work on so and so page, or I reached out because so and so referred me. And it's like I appreciate that. So it makes it easy for me. And like I said, let me focus on what I do the best, which is photography. So
Networking is in everything. That's what I'm learning doing this podcast. Like I have to reach out to as many people and connect with as many people as possible. It could last, but not for as long. And I was curious, like, because like the main theme of this show is to be an escape for people who suffer from mental illnesses such as depression and anxiety, right? So during those times when you were broke and you were trying to figure it out, not broke, but like
no, I was broke. You can say that.
you were broke. I didn't want to offend you.
No, I was broke.
Like
bro.
when you
I
were
was
broke
super
trying to figure it out, like did you ever get into a space where you were like super depressed, not really knowing what was next, or were you just completely always have that tunnel vision focus, like I gotta make it?
Man, fuck no. I was super depressed. No, I was super depressed at one point. I remember one time. This is when I was still in the Bronx. I remember one time like I was broke. This was like December of 20. What year is it? 2019. It was like December 2017. And like my laptop has broke. Like I had no bread. Like I hadn't been booked. Like at this time I was shooting like a lot of individuals. So like you got the holidays, Christmas, New Year's. It was snowstorms. I was traveling. People was traveling. So I didn't have no booking. So I was like super broke. And I remember like the final like straw was like my laptop broke. Like I couldn't turn it back on. And like all I really had, like you said, was my 50 millimeter. My camera and my laptop, like my two tools. Like if one of those went out, like I literally was out of business. And one of my tools went out of business. And so I went to Apple. And they was like, oh, we can't fix this. It was like super. My MacBook was like super old. It's like it'd be like $800 or something like number I didn't have and wouldn't be close to having no time soon. And I remember I was at the Soho Apple, and they wanted me to. First, they told me I couldn't even get it checked out because they didn't have any space to appointments, whatever. And it was like there's no walk-ins, whatever. So they told me to go to Fulton. And I remember I couldn't even afford to go to Fulton. I was like, fuck, man, I only got like $275. So like if I swipe it to go to Fulton, I don't know how much swipe to get back to the Bronx. I'm like, damn, bro. And I remember like I was just like crying. Not damn near. I cried, y'all. I was outside Soho, like teared up. I was like, bro, this is some bullshit. And during that time, I'm big on music. I'm still big on music. And I remember like ended up just saying, Kirby, I'm just like not gonna do this shit. I'm not gonna Apple. I ended up swiping and go back home. And I literally remember this is from Soho up to Parkchester, and I played one song. It was Nipsey Hussle. It's called Out on Stress. I love Nipsey Hussle, whatever. And I remember just listening to that song on repeat, and I was like, yo, just like the song was like talking about I don't stress and like just going through hardships and like making it out. I'm not sure if y'all heard Victory Lap, but it was
Yes,
I
love that.
Yeah, best hip
I
hop.
think it's a
Yes.
bit overrated.
Yeah,
I think it's Nipsey's best project.
I mean,
Come
but
on, Jeff. Come on.
who's the best album last year? Hip hop album for you?
There's layers to that. I think J Rock.
J Rock. It was a great album. Redemption was number 2 in my opinion.
I think JID.
So you give Victory Lap over Redemption?
Over Redemption, yeah, it was number 1.
We're gonna get to the music talk, but continue with your journey back to Parkchester while being depressed, listening to Nipsey. Like,
Oh yeah. So I was just listening to Nipsey, yo, and like I said, just like yo, just keep going. Like I said, I did not take that song off, and that was like an hour and a half commute, and I listened to it like 30 times and just kept on going over and over. And by the time I got the train, I was like, yo, suck it up, bro. Let's get it right. And I remember going home and like unscrewing my MacBook and like taking everything and not having a clue because my laptop wouldn't come on and not having a clue what I was doing. I was like unscrewed everything and just start unplugging shit. And it came back on. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yo.
the light of your laptop was the light you needed to see, I guess, to move forward. But even now, like, do you have any moments of depression, or do you just work through it? Like,
If y'all not
and how?
inspired today, y'all just lazy, okay?
For
I don't
sure.
know what to tell people no more. Like, this is the third show, and I'm just saying, if y'all don't get it by now, you're just lazy.
For sure.
Lazy, lazy, lazy.
Like, what do you do now to get out of those moments of depression and darkness? Like, do you still listen to music, or do you just shoot through it? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
I'm always listening to music. I listen to music every day, all day. I haven't been depressed in a while. Yo, life has been blessed as fuck. Like, I haven't had a bad since August. Honestly, since coming back from that trip, it's like, y'all want to do commercial. I haven't any issues. Like I said, December 2017 was like I was on the train crying and shit like that. And then December 2018, like I wasn't shooting at all. Like I purposely was like canceling all shoots. Like I'm not booking December. Like I'm doing coffee dates. Like I did like mad coffee dates and like smoothie dates and just linked up with like homies and friends and just like caught up, did like 2018 recap, 2019 goals, and like just people that I wanted me to talk to. Like, yo, let's link up. And like, so all December I didn't do no shoots. So December 2017 I didn't shoot all that month, and December 2018 I didn't shoot all that month. But it was for two different reasons. And
Yeah.
stuff. Like, so that transition was wild.
That's what's up.
I hope that continues for you, like the no depression
Yes,
shit. Cause
more blessings and blessings.
trust
and
me, it's rough, bro.
blessings.
Yeah, no, I can
it's
imagine,
rough.
bro.
Like, when you're planning a shoot for a day, like, or do you have to be in a certain mindset to create and want to shoot, or can you just go anytime?
So shooting, when it comes to me shooting my own personal stuff, like I don't like to just spit ideas out. Like I said, I like to make mood boards and actually have like, I don't like street photography. Like I don't like doing like events like Afro Punk or Curl Fest and like just taking pictures of random people like in the park or something like that. That's not really me. Like guerrilla shooting, I like to like plan concepts out. Like I said, have a team, have a stylist,
Have a whole story behind what
have
you're
a whole
shooting.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, because I do like visual
that.
stories. So like I have music. Like if you ever go to my website, like I have music going.
Yeah.
Like so you can like when you press play on the music, like it's like music that goes with the photos and like it's like a little essay part, like a photo essay, whatever. So you read like a little blurb that I type up.
Very dope.
And, sets the mood, sets the scene, whatever, and then you check the photos out and the mood like extends through the music and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I forgot the question you just asked.
Like, do you have to be in a certain mindset to create?
Certain mood. Yeah. So I smoke a lot when I'm trying to like get my mind together. So yeah, I smoke
High
a lot.
five.
Yeah,
Dope.
get my mind right. And then like I said, my stuff isn't really forced. Like I can go months, and it used to be. I'm finding myself finding my voice. It used to be a time where like I was always on Instagram, like posting a photo every day. It was like, yo, I gotta drop a photo. Like they gonna forget I'm a photographer. Like, and it was.
I saw you. Like I said, I was all through your shit today, and I did see that post. You were just like, let me drop a photo in case y'all forget I'm a photographer. And I was just like,
Oh, that was bad though. 'Cause I didn't have like a phone for like a minute. Like I was like I hadn't shot. Like I did nothing. Like
because I take pictures too, but I don't post as often just because everything's going based off of mood. But
I feel like you have some fire photos in the tuck that you're just not posting.
throw them to the
because
people.
I don't know, because everything I post, like everything I shoot goes for words. Like it's a whole, either a little short story or a little sonnet behind it. And if I'm not really ready to release the words, the photo doesn't come out.
This is why I say you're mysterious, because you got all this shit going on there, but nobody really knows about.
Yeah,
Mysterious.
yeah. Not really mysterious, just
I think so.
sneaky, private. It's a lot of words.
And, yeah. In terms of like environments or like setting, like weather conditions, does it matter to you, or does it? You need sunshine? Do you need nighttime? Does it matter?
No, I go off wherever I'm at.
Dope. And like you mentioned that you're like you don't do like the random shots of like Afro punk and all. You're not knocking people who do that?
No,
but
I'm not.
It's just not your
it's
style.
Not my style. Like I'm not friendly. I don't have confidence to walk up to somebody. Like okay, like I'm not a person that's walk up and start conversations. Like whenever I meet new people, it's usually through a new connection. Like somebody introduces me or we have some mutual connection. I'm not a walk up in a bar like, hey, how you doing? Like just walk up and start a conversation type guy. So
What about concerts? Like you don't do the like shoot concerts and all
I
either.
definitely don't fuck with concerts. Them lights and strobes. Like I have a respect for people that do event photography, like that type of stuff. But also like concert photography because just like them strobe lights be moving around, like changing them settings and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm slow and I take my time. That's why I like to have my shit planned out. Like my settings are set and I can go with the flow and I'm not rushed. You feel me?
So if you got an offer to do that, you wouldn't do
Oh
it.
yeah, I get that bag too. I can do it, and I will do it, but I don't like to do it. Like,
But if Nipsey asks you,
whatever.
This guy would probably do anything for
Yeah,
Nipsey.
Nipsey, my guy. Nipsey and Travis Scott. I want to shoot Nipsey and Travis Scott. Those are my two like favorite artists right now.
what kind of concept would you get for Travis for Nipsey? Let me hear that one first. Like
For
if you
Nipsey,
have-
I like that campaign him and Lauren London
Yes,
did. Like
I thought that was really.
it was super fire. Like I styling on that. I like so with me, my photography. I like to shoot. black people in scenes that they're not typically seen in. I feel like when I was growing up, I seen like the photos I seen of black people was like not just black people, minorities, but I'm black, so I'm speaking on black people. I just felt like it was usually like us in as like a rapper or us as like a sports athlete or just over sexualized, whatever. And like I just felt like those are the only narratives I saw. I was like, all right, let me do something different. Like I want to see us in high fashion, or I want to see us being nerdy or some shit like that. And so I love throwing like black people like super high fashion scenes and
representation matters. Like I feel like we need to be seen in those different lights to truly get that acceptance, not acceptance, but like people to see that
It's
we're
not
more
about
than
acceptance.
that. Yeah, to see that we're more than what you think we are.
Mm-hmm.
How many cameras do you own? Do you own just one?
I own one camera and I just got a new lens. I had a 50mm lens. I just got a new lens. I just got a new lens back in like December from Craigslist.
Is it about getting the most expensive camera, or is it about utilizing the camera you have and expanding upon it with like accessories and stuff like that?
Nah, yo. I feel about your skill set. Like I said, I was shooting Nike, Jordan, Kenneth Cole on my campaigns, whatever was that 50mm. I just got that 24-70, and I rarely shot with it. Like I just did a Jumpman shoot this past week. I shot twice with them.
Right.
That was my first time ever using that lens with them. Before I was just using the 50. So I don't feel like the tools. I feel like when I tell people that's like starting to get into photography, I always tell them like, just get like something simple and learn the basics and like learn what you're doing and learn like the settings and stuff like that. And
What camera do you shoot with?
I shoot a Canon Mark II, 5D Mark II, and I have a 50mm 1.8, and I have a 24-70 2.8.
My brain is all over the place. I don't know what you just said. Like I don't know what they look like.
Right,
I wouldn't know what to ask, but like they
Lens
sound
and body,
fancy. They
lens
sound
and body.
expensive. So let's say you're having that conversation with somebody like trying to get into photography. They're like, I want to get into it, but I can't afford a camera. I have an iPhone though.
Mm-hmm.
Would you encourage them to shoot with their iPhone, or are you against like the iPhone shooters? Like, are they
No.
shunned upon?
Nah, hell no. I mean, shit. I've seen iPhone shooters are getting these Apple campaigns. They're shooting these shot on iPhone Apple campaigns. I can't shoot on iPhone. I mean, it's a skill set. Like you said, something that they can do that I can't do.
Yeah.
It's just like how you work it. Just like there's rappers out here or producers out here like using Fruity Loops and like making Grammy Award winning beats and stuff like that. It's not really about the the tool sets and stuff like that. It's just kind of like how you utilize it.
Very
so,
true.
Yeah, so
I think like those people. I mean, I'm not obviously I'm not a photographer, so I don't hate on those people. I just don't understand. I feel like it's kind of takes away from the integrity of the art because like the podcast industry is oversaturated. Photography, I feel, in my opinion, from what I can see on the outside looking in, is oversaturated. Like everyone has a camera who said they can just do it. Like it's kind of like an easy thing to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's an artist, though.
Is everyone an artist, or
I think
people
on some
pretending?
level, everybody's an artist.
I agree.
I feel like everyone's creative. I don't think everyone is like an artist, in my opinion. Like I feel like some people.
Because art is so subjective. It's like who is. I can look at something Picasso said, was like, this is just bullshit. Like, why was he so special?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just in a museum. I went to the Met a few weeks ago, and there's a piece that looked like just like a child scrambled on it, and it was scribbled on. I'm sorry, scrambled.
Perfect example. There's a little girl in New York. I don't even think she's 1 year old, and she's making $2,500 for her art in the galleries. It was somewhere on News one Sunday. I was looking. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me.
No.
She do press? She want to come on the podcast? Like,
Her mom will
Yeah.
come do it, but yeah, like she's getting paid. Like she's in some little fancy gallery, and her photos go from I think between $500 to $2,500.
Who's her mom? How she get started on that?
yeah.
She said one day, either somebody in her family owns a gallery, or they went somewhere painting, and she left her daughter there with some paints, and her daughter just kept. And the person came back and was like, "Oh my God," and then that's how it started.
Is she black?
No, she's not black. She's,
Okay.
But I don't want to say she's a WASP, a white person. I want to say she's a person of color. I just don't know.
What'd you call it?
She's a woman of color. Like, she's a woman of minority background.
What we call it? WASP?
WASP.
WASP.
What's that? Wasp?
A WASP.
I never heard that
like a
before.
bee?
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
A WASP?
WASP. White Anglo-Saxon, like the very first of the
WASP?
pretty.
Like,
Yeah, WASP. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. WASP.
Huh.
I've never heard that before, honestly.
How do you
Is it breakdown or something? Like is it an acronym?
White Anglo-Saxon person.
Oh, white Angles, the A and the S.
Yeah,
they
the
do it in the mix. I'm sorry.
blonde hair,
Oh,
blue eyes,
shit,
like
wow.
one of the very first.
Folks are so
That's
smart.
not an offensive term. I mean, you probably can't answer that, but like, they don't.
I don't know. I knew when
Wow.
I used to work for this actually a company in this building called Oath, there was a guy in there, Mr. McFall, very, 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 I cannot stress this, handsome as shit. I've never been attracted to any, of the, but this man, blonde hair, blue eyes, and let me just mention, he was like 55, handsome as fuck. And I remember my supervisor was like, oh yeah, he's a wasp, and it's just like a little elite in a kind of sense. Like those are people of elitism. Like they come from very strong blonde hair, blue eye backgrounds.
And so a B is like the whack version of them.
Hmm?
So like a B is like the whack version. Of them?
I guess so.
Is that like the equivalent of?
Like damn, I want to be a wasp.
But yeah, like they're called like wasps. Like so, if you ever see like a really pretty blonde hair, blue eye, like
Wasp.
What's up, my wasp? Can I say that?
no, I don't. Never mind.
Oh, I can't say that.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay,
Because
got it.
you would have wanted to be like, "What up, my nigga?"
That's very true. That's why I asked if it was offensive. So like, I can't just go
I don't
around.
really. Like, I can't really say if it's offensive. Hey, is it offensive? I'm sorry. I'm gonna say. Okay.
No.
it's
I'm
not.
about to say you. White
What's up, my
Anglo-Saxon.
wasp? Yeah,
What's
No?
up, my wasp? But you gotta make sure they're actually a wasp.
very true. I can't just go around calling
Like,
everybody. one.
yeah, it's just very like the DNA is so broken up, chopped up. I don't think nobody really knows who the hell they are anymore.
Do we want to know? Do you think that we should have that information?
I think I'm good. My mama black. My daddy, we don't know who that is.
Yeah.
So we just going based off of one side. So and I'm fine with that. That does not bother me no more. I made peace with that.
Growing up in Florida, did you experience like any type of racism, like any type of like slight because you're a black man, like, or even transition to New York? Like, have you any experience of any racism or anything like that?
I had run in with the cops. I haven't had no harassment. Like, I'm scared for my life. Like, this shit is about to get crazy.
Yeah.
Situations. But I mean, I just had cops asking me where I was at, where I was going, who my people is, random shit. But,
Gotcha.
yeah, nothing like crazy that like my peers have been dealing with or dealt with and stuff like that. Thankfully.
Let's hope it continues, man.
Yeah, I hope so too, because I hate to be in that situation.
Man, it's still rough, which is kind of crazy. But do you handle criticism well? Because
That was my next question. Like in a world where opinions are running rampant, how do you
deal with that? You have a large social media following compared to most, especially in your industry, right? So I'm sure there's people under the comments giving their opinion. Does that affect you at all?
You think so? Think I got a lot of people?
You got, what was that, 12K, 13K, whatever? Like, it's a lot compared to, most trying to come up, I feel.
Yeah, subjective.
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but
I feel you know, the audience. I feel you. I'm working on a Facebook campaign right now, like ad campaign. And one of my goals, I'm working with my guy TJ McCoy, great dude. Y'all should check him out. Shout out to TJ. But he's helped me with my Facebook ads, and one of the things I'm working on is brand awareness and growing my following and stuff like that. So, like, just to hear you say I have a good following, I'm like, damn, I want more. It's like this is like the stuff that'd be in my head. I'm like, damn, okay.
You on your way.
Yeah. But you asked me
Criticism. Like,
criticism. Do I care about criticism? I mean, nah, I don't give a damn. I appreciate it. Like, it depends what it is. It depends if what it is and what it's about. Is it something I ask for, or something that like I care about? Like, I'm not really taking criticism on my photography because that's my photography.
Yeah.
If you give me criticism about like something that to optimize my website, like, yo, you should move this page over here or delete this page over here and make this simpler for your users, then I'll take that criticism. But if you telling me like, yo, I don't like your photo, you should have cropped it this way or some shit like that, I'm like, oh, you go shoot it. The fuck?
even if like you did a shoot with someone, they're going over the photos, they're like,
Oh,
what?
my clients. Oh, my clients. Oh, you talking about my clients? I thought you
I was
talking
talking I was talking overall, but
my clients. My clients have some work, whatever. I mean, that's up to them. Like, I'm customers first. Like I'm a businessman first and foremost. So like, customers always right. Whether I would advise them, but like, yo, my artistic. And luckily, most of my people support my work, or most of my clients like support my work, or all my clients support my work. That's why they book me. But they trust my judgment. There we go. And like, if I give them a suggestion, but like, they want to change something, but like, yeah, I feel you, but I think this might hit a little harder. They usually take it. Now, it hasn't been any situations that I could think of right now, top of my head, where like I gave advice and someone was like, "Nah, folks, you talking," and just kept doing what their own thing.
Were you always this courageous, or was this something you had to build at?
Courageous about
Just in general, yourself, your self-esteem, your assurance in yourself. Was this always something you had? Was you born with this quality, or you had to build this quality?
I feel like I've always been like this. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm courageous. I just always never gave a fuck. I just kind of like always had that. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, and like tomorrow's not guaranteed type mentality. Like this is not my first time quitting my job. Like I said, back in college, I did a couple of businesses. I started my own website, and I used to do freelancing, website design and graphic designs full time as well. So it's not the first time I've been like self-employed.
Okay.
I never actually had like a real job in my opinion. Like all my jobs is like play.
But like this wasn't guaranteed for you to be here, right? So was it always just this plan A and plan A, and was there ever a plan B or C?
I mean, when I moved up here, photography wasn't even a plan. Like I just so happened to have a camera.
But right, like even
So what was the plan when you moved up here? Was you trying to get into the promotion life, the nightlife up in New York?
Yeah, that was well.
I'm so happy you did. I'm so happy this was the better. Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was trying to get into the nightlife of New York. I was trying to steal New York ideas because in Florida we didn't have a lot of ideas. We're super slow down there. So I did day parties in Florida first. Oh, let me take that back. 'Cause I know niggas in Florida like, no, you right.
they're probably listening.
Yeah, you feel me? I'm not trying to hear that. But in my opinion, in Tampa, I hadn't known of anyone to do day parties or brunches and stuff like that. There wasn't a thing before we did it. Day Spark Events was the name of my company. I don't, unless somebody can leave a comment, feel free. I don't, top of my head, and I've talked to a lot of people, I don't recall any day parties or anything like that before that. And the thing was, I had never been to a day party when I started hosting day parties. I came to New York on a vacation, whatever, and I seen I was
What
hosting
year
a day
was
party.
that?
That was 2014.
You know, that's when I'm not gonna lie, between 2012 to 2014, maybe even half 2015 was when New York had the best day parties.
Yeah, that's when like.
Now I don't know.
They're trying to come back. Like there's certain day
You know,
parties.
the
that certain
promoters
around.
and everything, people just know how to fuck up a good time.
Everybody
Yeah.
has a brunch nowadays. I feel like
Yeah.
brunch used to be exclusive. Like you have to
Brunch
like
used to
look for
be-
brunch
yeah.
spots. Like everybody got a brunch menu now.
But you
Yeah.
know, it wasn't even that. Everybody had brunch. You just didn't know really where to go, in a sense. But everybody in New York, especially in the city, man, it was brunch all weekend, every weekend.
Mhm.
They just turned brunch into party time. And
Yeah,
I
day
think that's what kind of messed up the real brunch scene,
Yeah.
where everybody wanted to get on the wave of a party. It was just, I was going to restaurants, and at 9 o'clock, they became lounges. It was just like, what the fuck? Everybody wants to get on this party wave.
Yeah,
So,
them
you know,
unlimited
New York-
mimosas, man.
That's how you get them.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had never really been to a day party, so I was just going off like what I asked people, like, "You going to a day party?" Like, what is that? And they told me. I was like, "Oh shit!" And so I went back to Florida and I started doing day parties. And then I was like, I was running out of ideas. And honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. It's crazy because I know the founder now, but I was coming up here to steal Henny Palooza's idea because I used to want to do it. Like we had never heard that, and I was gonna still like do it with like Crown Royal. I was gonna call it like what was gonna name that shit? The Royal Fair or some shit like that. Where
That's
we did like it's like Crown Apple, Crown Royal. I mean regular Crown and Crown Maple or some shit like that. It was gonna be like different flavor crowns. It was like unlimited crown all day.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
He said
yeah.
he came up to steal Henny Palooza's
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Look where they're at. They're Duce Palooza now. Fucking
Gone 'em.
Jay at the last one in New
Yeah,
York.
they,
Like
they just made that announcement today though that they're changing it from unlimited to like a ticketed event though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's like
I mean, you know, all
shit,
great things
drink
must
tickets.
must have a balance after a while, because supply and demand.
I mean, I was talking to my homegirl about it. We were just discussing like why they did that. And at first, I was like, that was like weird. Not weird, but I was like, damn, that sucks. But she brought up some good points because like, it just makes more sense. Like, it's a tier system. The drinks are like still reasonably priced. Like I think it was like 5 drinks for $55, whatever. So
Yeah.
like $11 a drink. It's not a rush, so now you can show later because before like you had to be there early in order to get the drinks before they cut off, and now like you guaranteed drinks, whatever. So you can come a little bit later. So
yeah.
That's good.
yeah.
I hope it remains peaceful though, because every time I've been like, the way the system is, like the unlimited, like it could get crazy. All you gotta do is have a tip ready.
Really?
But like, yeah, I've never seen a single fight ever like at any of those.
I'm gonna say no. Henny Palooza. I mean,
They're very organized.
yeah, Henny and Duce be treating me right. They be yeah, I'll be good. I've never had to.
Yeah.
I never
Rush.
been to one of those events.
No, that's litty.
Does what's going on in the world in terms of like the most recent like New Zealand shooting, all these crazy stories of people getting killed, like does that affect your psyche in any way and your creative process, or do you just work through it and not even pay attention to it?
You know, I always said like if I was on an interview or something like that, there's certain things that questions and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, this is how niggas get caught up. And just like yo, niggas get caught up for saying some crazy shit. It just be an interview, but next
Like,
thing
that's hilarious. Trying to be funny. She's all caught up now.
yeah, and I
a
look
whole
at it,
bunch of
apologize, and
BS.
dropping 15 bands. Stupid. But to answer your question, not to be like morbid or anything like that, but no, it doesn't affect me. I've seen some shit, so it's kind of like it sucks. It does suck, and then, like my condolences, and like it's whack to see that like just random like the world is a crazy world we live in. It's just like, yo, but my mentality is like, I'm just so focused on what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just another day, and like that's why. Don't cancel me, Twitter, because I know how they do. But it's just another day at the end of the day. Like, life goes on. And, like, I would hate to sound, like I said, depressed when I say that, but you just got to keep going.
I think that's where I'm at too. Like I have empathy, obviously, but
Mhm.
like if it doesn't affect my mission, like I can't really care too
Yeah.
much because it's a waste of time. It's wasted energy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
What happened is, like, that's not stopping the show, and, like, life goes on. Even when I die, like, life is still going to go on. And
for sure,
it's just, like, what it is what it is.
life is literally going on right now while we're in here doing this interview.
Facts. Like, nothing's changing.
So you definitely you said you started like photography a few years ago.
Mhm.
So were you paying attention to the scene at all? Like, was there anyone you were paying attention to early on that kind of inspired you, or that inspire you currently?
Inspired me prior to shooting. No, I wasn't into photography at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't really like checking the scene out. Now I know of some people that I admire and look up to, just like work wise and style shooting. I have a lot of homies. I mean, like I said, me and my homeboy, we started this group called Shooters Union. We host like photo walks, and we like gather a bunch of photographers and models together and like host a photo walks where we come out and we
I feel
shoot.
like I've heard of that.
We done a couple. We done like 6 or 7 so far. I mean, we're not the only ones that do photo walks. There's other orgs that do them, but we've hosted a few of them. One in Chinatown, one in Fidei, Central Park. No, we're doing Central Park. No, we haven't done Central Park. We're trying to do Central Park. I don't know if I should be saying that, but
To be continued.
yeah,
Yeah.
TBT.
But let's discuss that
TBD.
further in the part 2 if there's a part 2.
Yeah.
So it's clear you know what you're good at. I could tell. Obviously, we saw your Instagram all day. You're clearly good at photography.
Thank you.
You're clearly good at making business deals, and all this shit manifests for yourself. But I'm a huge advocate for self-reflection. And I was curious, what do you think your Achilles heel is? Like, what's one thing you think you're bad at that you could work on going forward that may improve yourself as a person or your business? Like,
There's a lot of things. So beginning of this year, I mean, to answer your question before I forget, communication. I'm terrible communicators at times. I'm getting better at it. I'm thinking relationship wise, but
I guess you could go there, but like you're
Yeah, 'cause
doing.
that was my next series of questions. Like, are you single? Or how do you feel about dating today? Do you prefer to swipe left or meet people the old-fashioned way?
am I answering those right now?
No, go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. I'm about to
It's
say.
all gonna
Keep
tie
that in the
into
tuck. Keep that in the tuck.
All right. I'm still calling my question. So to answer your question, communication, like relationship wise, and just like not even like relationship, just like with friends too.
Because friendship is a relationship, and
Yeah.
people need to know that.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure, like, when I say relationship, people might think, like, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I'm just talking about, like, family relationship, friend relationships, like, everything.
Yeah.
I'm talking all that. Communication. Like, I'm getting better with communicating with my family. But in the beginning of 2019 or end of 2018, I wrote down a list of traits because my overall goal for 2019 is I want to become a better leader in general. And so with that, it was just, like, 10 traits that I felt like I wanted to improve on as a person. I feel like if I improved on those individual traits, then that overall make me a better leader. So like communication was one of them. Accountability was another one. I can't think of them. It's in my notebook.
Do you like deflect in certain situations when like it's on you? Do you just like deflect and just not take account? Like, what is it? What do you mean by accountability? Like when things go wrong, do you not hold yourself responsible at all? Or do you
No.
blame?
I think I do a pretty good job of holding myself responsible on things. It's just I guess it's more so communications. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it was like a situation with a photo shoot that I had with some people that I was working with, and it wasn't a big thing. I don't want to make it seem like it was big, but it was like I could have did a better job on making sure that the team was thorough on the communication, and so I needed because it went wrong. It did go wrong,
Right.
and I held myself accountable, or whatever. So just holding myself accountable in that type of situations.
So you feel it's clearly that you feel comfortable being a leader and leading a team. Like, do you feel more comfortable playing the background?
It goes with the situation. I mean, I see myself as a leader, but I feel like as a good leader, sometimes there's leaders that have to step in the back, like
For sure.
let the people do what they got to do. Like I said, like I'm still a leader, but I know that I'm not a styling person, so I don't want to be at a photo shoot like directing the styling. That's not my forte as a leader. I'm gonna be like, all right, that's not my skill set. All right, you come tap in and take the reins, whatever, and then I come back and do what I got to do.
That's very interesting because like I definitely needed to hear that because like that's inspiring because I did create this podcast, right? I'm not saying Lainey and others are under me, but I feel like
We under him.
I do feel like I am kind of into a leadership role. So like I'm kind of, I definitely need to hear that because like I don't feel like one. I don't feel like I have the confidence enough to identify as that. So.
But you know, we let you work it out.
Yeah.
We give you the room to build on yourself. Like we know what this is about.
Yeah.
And I always go back to the name of the show, Introverted Intuition.
Yes, you don't seem like an introvert at all. I hope this is really on brand for you.
No, I mean, I'll be chilling. I don't know if I have my moments where I get antisocial. I have like a social battery, and like sometimes it drains out. I don't like. I'll be chilling 95% of the time. I'm not shooting. I'm probably at home.
When is your birthday? Because I be chilling.
I'm May 9th. I'm a Taurus.
I be chilling.
I really just be chilling.
I don't know nothing about Taurus. I'm sure you do, ma'am.
Like we're lazy and we're like hard-headed and we're stubborn and stuff. So
and they really do just be chilling.
Like once we get comfortable, we just set up shop.
You don't seem lazy at all because you don't seem like you're a bad communicator as well because you're.
Give them a blunt and some ice cream and the binge show.
Because like you have all these connections and you've gotten all this shit done, but you've done everything you said you're the opposite of. So that's kind of crazy to me.
New York.
Yeah, that's
New
true.
York.
You would you like to get into your relationship questions? You shot like a rapid fire at him.
Well, because it was all about the communication, so it was just like, you know, again, as a black man, communication, relationships, all of that ties in. So for the listeners who want to know, are you single? How do you feel about dating today? Do you rather, like, would you rather swipe left or do you prefer to meet people the old-fashioned way?
I am single, and how do I prefer to meet people? The old-fashioned way. I don't use dating apps.
Because I don't. So, what are some ways as a black man do you mentally decompress? Because as much as you say I'm chilling, something has to get to you on some level on any day. So, what are some of the things you do like to mentally decompress?
I listen to music. I say that a lot, but I really do it. I listen to a lot of music. I work out, play basketball, physical activity. Let me just group it all together. I smoke a lot. And,
do you smoke because do you feel like you suffer from a form of PTSD? Like, I don't know how you grew up in Florida, but, you know, it was the article that I was reading that it was saying that a lot of young black men suffer from PTSD because of the communities they grew up in. They had to watch a lot of their their childhood friends die in front of their eyes or go to jail and stuff like that. Do you have those type of issues?
No, I haven't been traumatized in that situation. I feel like I suffer from I don't self-diagnose myself, but I have a short attention span. So, or not even short attention span. Like I just always have a lot on my mind, and so smoking helps me like slow down and like chill and stuff like that, and just go with the flow. It like slows my brain down and my thinking speed up.
I just got into smoking again recently, just because I feel like I just been so stressed and I need some type of escape. And I always like hearing about other people's experiences and how they deal with weed, because I feel like I get really paranoid when I use it. And it seems like when y'all get high, y'all just get really chill and relaxed, and so.
I mean, it depends on what you're smoking too. You should definitely know what strain you're smoking. Like,
man, I just take it and they.
That's what I'm saying. That big issue though, because each weed is different. Like a lot of people just think weed is weed. But I mean, it could be indica, it could be a sativa, it could be a hybrid. So
I only know people who sell sativa. I think that's the problem.
That's what they tell you. It's probably named sativa most of the time.
I'm not a connoisseur. Let me hit up someone who is.
You gotta check the bushes. Like the bushes always let you know.
Yeah, because niggas just be making up names and shit.
The Strivers Row.
Yep.
How did that campaign start? There's like ads around the city for it too, right?
Yeah. The ads are done right now. We just ran a campaign with Link NYC for Black History Month past February, where we featured Strivers. We did this campaign. So let me go back. So Strivers Row is a campaign that my homegirl Destiny Swindle started in August of 2016. August of 2017. I was the creative director for that. I am the creative director for that. I've been shooting with them since the beginning. Every photo that we've shot on the website in general is shot by me. Shot all the Strivers and stuff like that. So Strivers Row, this history of the actual Strivers Row is an area in Harlem off of 138th and 139th off of Amsterdam, I believe. And so they was building this area like in the late 1800s, like early 1900s, and they was building this area up, and it was originally for like wealthy white people, and that's who like living in the Harlem area.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, you probably seen it before. It got the alley with the walk your horses sign and all that stuff, and so he's building that up, and then between that time of them building it and it actually getting complete, like the demographic had switched over, so it was like a lot of black people in the area. And so it was like, yeah, we're not gonna let black people move in, whatever. So it was just empty for like 20, 30 years, whatever. And then it was like finally like, yo, we're losing money, we need to open this up, whatever. So they started letting black people move in, and the black people that was moving in were like prominent people in the area, so like doctors, lawyers, scientists, just people that was just like doing their thing and whatever. So Strivers Row, our campaign is basically a tribute to that, and it's kind of like how we are in areas where we're not necessarily welcomed. We're not necessarily welcome, but we came in and made it our own. And so what our Strivers Row platform does is we highlight individuals that's like just killing their own field, whether it be business, fashion, marketing, whatever. Everybody's just like, it's just a very wide range of just different things. Like I said, we have people that's Forbes 30 under 30. We have the Duce Palooza, the Henny Palooza founders. Cam, he's like a striver as well. We have people that's like editors in chief, like Huffington Post or whatever have you. Just like it's just a wide range, photographers, whatever. It just varies. We just highlight them, and so we recently did a campaign called Habitual B for Black History Month, where the story on Habitual B is a researcher. She actually reached out to us, which was wild. We did this. It was a researcher. I forgot what she went. I want to say MIT, but I feel like it's wrong. But she went to the university. She did the project, and it was basically about ebonics and how we as Black people have a tendency of cutting out the be verb out of our thing. So we'll change like the possession of be. So we use like, I forgot what she said, but we use it in past tense, but we currently mean in present tense. And so for the experiment she did, she went to like children. She went to like a bunch of little white children. She went to a bunch of little Black children, and she asked. There was like a picture of Elmo eating a cookie, and then there's a picture of Cookie Monster just chilling. And so she asked the white people, she was like, or the white children, she was like, yeah, who be eating cookies? And all of the white children said, Elmo be eating cookies. And then she asked the Black children who be eating cookies, and all the Black children said, Cookie Monster be eating cookies. It just goes to show that our use of the terms, and just be like, yo, he be lying, or he be tripping, or something like that, just the way we use it. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just like, it's our thing. It's like an ebonics thing, whatever. So we did a campaign where we highlight that, and we asked all the strivers what they be doing. And it was like, we be in band, and we be communicating, we be doing random shit, whatever.
That's dope.
No, yeah, that's really dope.
Yeah, like I actually saw one. I think I saw one of the ads, like on a bus stop or around the city somewhere.
It's like all over. It was like 200 kiosks. The Link NYC. We did collab with Facebook, where we hosted a dinner at Facebook, and Verizon hopped in on that as well. And then we did Link NYC, where they displayed. I shot the photos, and they was displayed over 200 kiosks around New York City and stuff. So there's like all over the place.
That's really
Something
dope.
I'm definitely about to go home and look into.
Do you, as a Black man, like, you know how we viewed in this country, like, you go outside with that hood on behind a white woman, you may get a look, and they may look at you very fearfully. Does that affect you at all?
No,
like,
I'm used to it, yo. It's because like you said earlier, like I don't feel like I give off the image that people expect to see, especially like going off my Instagram, like if they know who I am or seen my work before. A lot of times people are like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that, because I like usually I have like golds and like a big bald head, gold teeth, and a nose ring, and like I'm trying to get a neck tattoo and shit like that. So I'm trying to be like I'm still like, I'm a nigga, like I'm like, I know who I am. Like I'm chilling. Like I know who I am, and I'm like, I'm comfortable being me. Like I can not code switch, I guess it is. Like I know how to switch.
Put your white voice on.
White boy voice. Not even. I mean, I don't consider it white boy. Just
It's
be
the
professional.
balance.
Yeah, it's a balance. I mean, like
just
like Jay-Z. Like I can still do my I do what I do, whatever. Like I still smoke weed and I still be balling and shit like that. But I mean, I can still go into the Brooklyn Museum and have a meeting with the director and talk about budgets and like how we can get like a project together and stuff like that. You feel me? So it's kind of like, and again, I want to go back to making sure everybody knows, like, because I'm working on some blog pieces, like kind of like on point. But I am a business person first. Like I said, business is my number one passion. Art is like my close number two. But at the end of the day, like I'm a business person. Like I'm thinking about my art, but in the back of my mind, I'm coordinating to my business and stuff like that. Like how can I connect this to my business? So I'm always gonna be a businessman.
What's next for you?
In life?
Because you're so young. I feel like this is just the beginning.
Yeah, white.
So, how old are you again?
I'm 26.
That's young. Like, I don't know why I think, like, I don't, listen, I'm 32, but.
You're 32?
Yeah.
Lies.
Why does everyone have the same reaction?
I was gonna ask it, but I was like, yo, that's rude. You're not supposed to ask one. But you kept to say, you said like twice. I was like, yo, how old are you?
I'm
32.
32,
Damn, you look amazing
and
for 32.
I still feel like I'm 25 sometimes.
You look
so
21.
thank you. Shout out to you, black man. That's right, man. But it's just
Shocked
one of
every
those
time.
things. I always feel like your age is pretty much a mental thing too. So when I keep saying like you're so young, people think that when you're 30, you're 35, your life is over. Oh my God, I'm old. No, that's not the case at all. A lot of people didn't get a great start in life till they turn 50. I heard this thing like your first 50 years is for learning, your last 50 is for living.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be 50 on a yacht, shaking my ass to something I
Ballin'.
probably shouldn't be shaking my ass to at 50, but I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah, live your best life.
Exactly.
We here for a
so,
good time.
yes, you are still very young. So what else do you have in store for yourself?
What's some stuff that I want to do? I mean, like I said,
Because you just like picked up a camera, like you can be like the Asian doctor
no,
who went
no,
from
actor.
doctor to actor. So you picked up a camera 2 years ago.
Yeah, so
You may pick up a script in 3.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to get into eventually doing like production and stuff like that. I start off doing like photography, and like I see myself doing videos and stuff like that eventually. I don't really have a game plan. So with me, my photography stuff is I'm always giving an example, but my example is kind of like Pharrell.
Okay.
I feel like Pharrell kind of like is like the epitome. Yeah,
Evolved,
exactly.
yes.
He was started off like doing music,
He went
producing
from
stuff like
nerd
that.
to he has his
Solo,
own makeup line, all types of shit.
Fashion,
yeah.
exactly,
Everything, yeah.
exactly, and that's
Everything.
me. Like I look like a pyramid. So the top of the pyramid is gonna be photography, and then like as I go out and I branch out, do more stuff. So I have like merchandise where I sell like hoodies and T-shirts. I have an e-course. I have like little small shit, and it still connects to photography somehow, but it's like a separate entity. And then I want to like branch out a little bit more, so start doing videos and start doing like I don't know, music and clothing, and just branch out. Like I'm building a brand. Like the long term play is to build a brand and not just like be a photographer. Because photography, I realized when I went broke that December 2017,
Yeah.
it's a service based industry. So if I'm not shooting, I'm not getting paid. And so that was what motivated me to make my Stop Asking Creators to create for free hoodie. And then
I got to cop one of those.
yeah, I'll shoot you a promo code. Actually, let me see. I'll make it right now on the spot.
That's kind of dope, though.
I
love
always
that
wondered
answer.
about people who just do multiple things. Like, how do you? Because I'm a writer as well as a podcaster, and sometimes I just don't want to do a podcast. Sometimes I just want to write. Like, how do you decide each day what you want to do, or is it just you just wake up and just go with it?
I go with it. You know, if it feels right, if it's right. I don't shoot every day. Like I want to shoot sometimes. It'd be like, yo, this is not it. Like I don't want to force it, whatever. If you don't feel like doing it, I just go with the flow. I just accepted my days. Like I got a better, how can I say that? Because I want to say I'll just wake up and do whatever. But I actually went to, I had met this guy at Soho House a few weeks ago. And he was at Bleacher Report, and he had just left Bleacher Report and went to SBN Nation, and we was talking, and I asked him a question. I was like, yeah, I was telling him like my day to day, I just feel overwhelmed so often. I just have so much on my to-do list and whatever. Like, how does he like get by and like manage it, like his time management, like routine? He's like every day, he just wakes up and puts one thing on his to-do list, and he just goes by that. And if he says he does that one thing on the to-do list, then his day was a success. And if he doesn't do that one thing on the to-do list, then it was a failure. And so he told me this like 3 days ago. So since then, I've only had one thing on my to-do list. And so far, I've done everything on my to-do list. So I kind of just like try to set out, like, if you're not in the mood, like if you don't feel like writing, then don't force it. You feel me? Like if you don't feel like recording a podcast, then don't force it. Like, because that's just going to be trash. And like I was saying, like when I first started doing photography, like I was putting photos up every day, just like, I want y'all to know I'm a photographer. It's kind of like, it forced me to put like bad quality work. And so now y'all seeing me, but it's like, yeah, you're a photographer, but your photos is trash. Like, we don't want to see this. So it's kind of like, don't force it. And like when I wasn't forcing it, when I was like taking my time and like letting it come organically is when my best work, when my best work comes to fruition.
If we learned anything for the past year and a half from our top record label right now, is quality control in everything.
For sure.
Quality control.
Facts.
I'm curious, like there's literally no linear trajectory for you, right? So like, what drives you each day? Is it just the fact that you've done everything up to this point and you feel like you could keep going with it, or is it you just have this hustle mentality, you can't stop, or you feel like you need to keep up with certain people who are doing certain things? Like, what is it that drives you each day to do all these things?
All the above. All the above. It's every time he says something, I was like, yeah, that's it too. Yeah, it's just like, for one, I wasn't supposed to be here, so like the fact that I'm here is like, oh shit. It's kind of like, how far can I keep going with this? Like, I was like, damn, how long am I gonna keep fooling people thinking I take photos for real? Like, and they haven't caught me yet, so it's kind of like, that situation. I had, like I said, I have a lot of peers that shoot photography. One of my good friends. I have a lot of good friends that shoot. So just having them in my circle, just seeing them, especially like the people that I started shooting with, because it was like my friend Mark, for example, Mark Clinton. We started shooting together like back to back, and like we've both just done so much major stuff in 2 years. Like it's like if you told me 3 years ago that I was gonna be shooting for Nike and Jordan and Kenneth Cole and like the people I shot with, I'd be like, bro, I just got this camera like last week. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And now like
so dope.
yeah, now I'm doing it. It's also shout out to New York because this also happens only because I'm in New York. So it's kind of like honestly, it's just so many different factors, and I just have so many people that watch me and like look up to me. I've just gotten messages like as I'm building a brand. Like I've had people that's been following me since like the beginning. Like when I first, like I have people from Florida that seen me like grow, and I've seen people that like from Instagram that see me grow, and people that came like my first gallery, and just like I've get messages from people across the world. Like I had this chick from Germany like message me, and like it's like, yeah, you just like not saved my life, but it was like, yo, like I look up to you, and it was just like just like encouraging. Like
Is that like building any pressure for you? Because like you have these people following you. Like if you
yeah.
stop making content, they may not be able to go on. You know what I mean? So
Facts, yeah, it is. It is a lot of pressure, and I'm starting to realize that because it's like, not that I want to quit, but it's like, damn, if I do quit, like it's not like I just like quit, like slide out. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
I will
Like-
say this as a fan of different people, like if they're really your fans, they will always understand the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
If J. Cole decides to be like, I'm done today or tomorrow, I will get it.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I feel like
he
got
should
all-
be done today, honestly.
I mean, we're
Damn.
not going there.
No,
today,
not like that, but
damn.
like
Shit.
I think he's.
Damn,
That's a
come on.
different point. That's a different point I'm trying to make. But continue.
Nah, I feel like there's stuff that definitely now that I'm into the photography stuff is stuff that on my list that I want to accomplish and I will accomplish.
Right.
And so once I accomplish that, like I'm nowhere close to as of now. Like I might wake up tomorrow and be like I'm done shooting, but right now I'm nowhere near done. And that's just on me, but it's also like an added pressure. Like when you got random people from Germany hitting you up, like yo, I love your work. Like you motivate me to quit my job over here in Germany. I'm just like damn, like.
Yeah.
Hold on now, I didn't tell you to do all that. But that type of stuff is just like dope to hear. It helps you keep going.
So a few podcasts back, I said Will Smith. This is so random, but I feel like Will Smith should do stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to like maybe a week ago, he attempted it.
I don't think Will Smith's a good stand-up comedian.
He's not.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But this is like it's like a broader topic. So I was curious, how do y'all feel about people who do something feeling like they could do everything and trying things? Do you think that's like an acceptable thing? Like I feel like if you do something really well, you should stick to your craft and you just should hone that out. I mean, I'm not saying
Never.
not encourage people not to try, but if you just know what you're good at, I don't see why you try to break that mold. Like Will is a big time actor, good, decent rapper. Like he had a decent rap career. He changed the mold for like the Grammys and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to doing stuff that you know
People
you're
still
not
play
good at,
Summertime.
like
You give him his credit. Summertime will forever be something it's gonna be 5,005. Summertime's gonna be playing.
but even Will Smith is like he's a celebrity, right? So the market's already oversaturated. So when the celebrity jumps into the mix and he immediately gets like millions and millions of YouTube subscribers, that shit's on the people on the come up. When he gets into stand up, that shit's on people on the come up. I feel like it's not fair. I'm only kind of speaking in just terms of celebrities. How do you feel about celebrities getting into markets that are already taken over by creatives on the come up?
Like, y'all about to hate me because I'm about to do the same shit. I'm about to build my brand out and I'm about to do the same thing. Like,
Yeah, but
I mean, not necessarily because I haven't seen it stand up. Something just tells me Will
Terrible.
Smith. Yeah, something tells me Will Smith's not a funny.
never do that again, Will.
Yeah, I do. I don't know why.
Don't
why
talk
would,
to Dave Chappelle anymore.
Why would you even put that energy? Why would you want to see Will Smith? Like you said, you said a couple.
and he put that energy out.
Yeah,
Because
there.
I
swear.
felt like he could
And
do it.
I told you
What-
that day.
it-
I was like, nah, Will Smith.
I don't even know
can't
what the
do
topic of
stand-up.
discussion was, but I felt like he could just do it because he's naturally funny. He's just a goofy dude.
I feel like he's a goofy dude, but to sit there on stage and tell jokes like how, like, I mean, I'm a Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, like,
Yeah.
tell me a story, and like, I feel like he could probably get like a story, but like, not to say he's corny or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of his stuff is scripted, like it's not like he's in front of the camera like going up the dome. Because I just
Yeah.
seen that he has a new Facebook Live show that's coming out, like Bucket List or something. I just seen an ad on it, like when I was coming
Great
in.
concept.
Yeah, great concept, and I mean that's a scripted show. I feel like he's a great scripted person, like movies and.
But he's seen some shit he could talk about on stage, I feel. Like he's seen shit in Hollywood throughout his life. He could
He
really
can't
Yeah,
talk about
but
it all
delivery
the
though,
time.
like
Yeah.
telling the fella. I mean, again, I mean, there's certain stories. Like I've seen interviews when he was on Jimmy Kimmel, and like he's like telling stories like that. Like I'm pretty sure he can tell some stories, but to be on stage, to be a stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
that's a lot of pressure. I mean, I never did it, and I was supposed to do it. Somebody asked me to do a comedy show, like host a comedy show, like back in college. I'm like,
I ain't gonna lie, I think you would bomb. I think you would do terrible.
I probably would do terrible.
I just don't. Not saying you're not funny, but like I don't know. Just you seem real like monotone, not really.
Yeah, I
like,
wouldn't.
chill.
I would.
He just said, I've been chilling.
Yeah, he
That's
Taurus.
chilling.
I'm not gonna laugh. Well, shit.
So do y'all like encourage that behavior? Celebrities going to markets for creatives?
And I would say Idris Elba. He's one of those celebrities who's always been very vocal in saying you shouldn't limit yourself to just one avenue because that's what people feel you ask. The man's a DJ. He's hosting. I think is he gonna be? Is it a Coachella or one of those? Either Rolling Out or Coachella. Idris Elba is performing as a DJ.
Probably Coachella.
I just got pissed off.
He's not gonna do Rolling Out.
But why? He's on a song with Steph London and Sean Paul.
The name is selling him and getting him on that bill, not his talent.
He trained for.
Is he not good? Is he really not good? Or
he recently,
I don't know. I'm talking shit.
saying-
I'm going off the cuff.
I'm saying because some people are really like talented. Like
I feel like he's one of those. He's not afraid. If this is my thing, why wake up at 75? Like what if?
Facts.
That shit will kill you worse.
Facts.
So if you try, you fail, you fall on your face, it would be like, haha, at least I tried. Like I did it. It was a good laugh. Like. Or at most, it doesn't turn out the way you want it to be.
I just don't think it's fair to creatives. Like, even another example, Howard Stern. He's been doing radio for how many years?
Mm-hmm.
He shitted on podcasts his entire life. Now, since radio is on the way out, and like that market and what he's been doing there, now he's gonna get into podcasting. But what about us on the come up?
But
we've been doing this shit
Aren't
consistently.
we just radio heads in a sense?
Yeah, it's internet radio, whatever, talk radio, whatever you want to call it. But I just don't.
Without the music.
I just don't like
Without the
celebrities
music
just
breaks?
doing shit like that. Like it's not fair to the creatives. In my
I mean,
opinion.
to touch on that 2 points. Well, first, on my business mindset.
Shout out to you, Idris.
Yeah,
No, not shout out to Idris.
And
No,
his upcoming nuptials.
no one's going. No
Fine
one's gonna
ass
watch.
girl.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Now y'all good. On my to go back on my business mentality is a dog eat dog world. Like, get how you live. Like, so the strong will survive. That's my mindset. But also being another businessman and also like focusing. There's niches. Like there's niche markets for that. Like I was talking to TJ McCoy, the guy I was telling you about earlier about Facebook marketing. He said something the other day. I was like super genius. He's like, yo, all you need is 1,000 people to give you $100, and you got $100,000. Like you don't need to get everybody. Like there's nothing for everybody. Like that's why I feel like I'm so successful. Damn, that sounded so vain.
No, just say it. Just say it. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm successful because I know who I attract and I know how to talk to the people that I attract. Like I say, like I'm not an event photographer. I'm not a curl fest, Afro punk shooter, or whatever. So I'm not trying to talk to the people. I'm trying to talk to people like commercial fashion photographers, and knowing what your niche is and knowing what your lane is so like important in this business world. And so there might be a niche for Will Smith out there. Yeah. He doesn't. I mean, obviously he has a wider net to cast because it's Will Smith. He got 15 million followers on a day.
I think he's found it. I think he's found it as being our internet uncle.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like he's bored.
Like he's, but
I
He
think
is
it's, I think it's a
we
midlife
love it.
crisis.
I love it.
It's
Hey,
a
man.
midlife crisis for me.
what
I
you
don't think
plan on
it's a
doing in your
midlife.
midlife crisis? Just same thing. Gonna just keep doing what you do throughout it. Like, I'm already doing this for 20 years now.
I don't know, but I just maybe my mindset's a bit traditional in terms of like maintaining my integrity through my entire life, right? So I don't think I could ever, if I was this big celebrity, I don't think I would try to get into another market knowing it's already a hard enough market to get into, right? So Will getting 15 million subscribers in a day, I just don't think that's fair. I think he's just doing it just to keep up with the times because his movie career honestly has been on decline. All his movies ain't doing hundreds of millions anymore back in the day, like fucking Independence Day, Bad Boys 1 and 2, whatever.
I mean, a lot of movies ain't doing that nowadays.
And he kind of got typecasted for a while. He kind of got stuck into doing that dramatic role. Now he's trying to get back into the action shit with like.
But I feel like Will Smith is one of those people who has.
He's an opportunist
they
now,
do-
I think.
Ooh,
He's a what?
damn.
I think he's an opportunist now.
I really don't see it that way. I think he's an older man just having fun now.
I feel like he did everything he wanted
Yeah,
to
I
do.
feel like
and
he
it's
did
yo.
everything and just like, and now I'm just gonna have fun.
And what's so really different about him going from TV to Instagram? I mean, obviously, it's a big
Yeah.
difference, but I mean, at the same time, these things wasn't like, who knows? Maybe he wanted to do IG from Jump Street. They just wasn't on IG. He just got stuck doing Fresh Prince.
I
and
think this is just
Yeah.
our bored uncle having fun.
facts.
I'm not hating on Will.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I don't know, I'm just big on integrity. I'm big on just
You know, and I feel like that's gonna be your test when it's all said and done, and you rise to the fame. You're gonna have the test of integrity, and I hope you stand up to your task.
What about you? You seem you're really about the bag, right? You'll do a lot, not a lot for a check, but like if there's a check involved, it's a reasonable. You would do it, right?
I mean, if it's something, I mean,
That you believe in.
Yeah, if it's something I want to do, I mean, I've turned down a lot of gigs. I mean, if it's something people want me to shoot, and I don't feel like shooting it, it's whack. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'll refer you to somebody else that, like I said, I'm not a maternity shoot person, but if someone came to me like, I got $2,000 to do your paternity shoot, and it's not something I want to do, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'll pass it on to somebody else.
So let's say H&M offers you a bag to shoot the shoot with the boy? You think that like
In the monkey shirt?
Yeah, like would you do that?
I just
First of all, I don't feel like that was intentional.
okay. I feel like the boy in
the
the monkey
Gucci
shirt
shit.
is one of those things. I have nieces, nephews, little cousins, play cousins. I've called them monkeys.
I didn't even see that, honestly. When I first seen it, because I seen the ad, I seen that on Instagram, I mean on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then like I didn't read the
I
tweet, whatever.
thought it was
and then,
pretty. Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't
That was
know.
a reach, but
that
I'm
was
talking.
a rich.
But like,
Because let me touch on that too. Because as a photographer, I know how that goes. Like it's literally like they probably had like 5 little kids, whatever, and they had the stylist, and they all wore that same thing, and they just selected that photo just so happened. I don't think that was like, oh, we don't throw these.
Like
some
would
of
that
them-
honestly would have been better if it was a white kid in the monkey shirt or something. Like,
Somebody had to wear that
Don't
monkey
know.
shirt. They made that monkey shirt. Somebody's gonna fucking get in that monkey shirt and rock.
I
that
feel
shit.
like when your kids is just like, you know, as a parent, you call your baby little animal names because some of them act like little animals.
I didn't even see it. Like I feel like we live in a sensitive time too. Like
Very,
people-
very sensitive.
This is a hot. That's
Like
what
them
I'm saying.
little crumb snatchers. I used to call my nephew pork,
Pork.
because he looked like a little porky pig. Like he
little
was
pig.
stuffed like a stuffed pork.
you think that's gonna affect him when he gets older?
I don't call him pork no more.
Oh, okay.
But my little brother I used to call him Buddha. It was to the point where when he was 17, I stopped calling him Buddha. He got an attitude
You see Mr. Buddha?
because it was just like that's my sister's pet name for me, Buddha.
So could you work with a company like Gucci going forward, where they do like the fucking news shit, like they offer you a bag to shoot one of their next campaigns? Does that, like, you know, these things were crazy, you know,
Yeah,
like
no,
it's
no.
very much intentional during Black History Month, all that. Like, does that affect your integrity at all, or do you just not care?
Good question. Depends on the situation. Gucci, I'll probably just ride off on Gucci. I'm really not like sold on Gucci like that to be like trying to fight for them and stuff like that. So I mean, but it depends on the situation. Also, I really don't know too much about that Gucci. Like, was that the sweater?
Yeah, was it the blackface sweater?
Yeah,
the
turtleneck
black
thing.
sweater.
Someone else had the noose. I forget one of those brands.
Burberry.
Yeah, Burberry.
Yeah, I mean that type of stuff. And also, I mean, I'm saying a lot of also, but I feel like this is stuff that they're starting to do on purpose just because they know it causes public outrage and we like,
Outrageous marketing now.
yeah, it's just like let's get black people mad. Like, you don't accidentally drop a news.
Because it works in their favor. Get black people mad, white people run to the stores and buy it.
We're not even a demographic. They don't give a damn about us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, like a noose, you don't actually design a noose and throw it on somebody's neck.
Well, they did it.
They're not by accident. They knew it was gonna
And
be-
I tried to find ways like I can explain it. Like I kept looking, I was like, I can't explain this.
Not a
Like I
noose.
tried to. I'm like, it looked like a Timberland string. I'm like, nah, but we heard like growing up the stories about the Timberland company and the tree, so it was just like, yeah, can't really say nothing.
What's the story on the Timberland? Tree?
Well, I remember growing up, they used to say like the Timberland was made from somebody who was in the Ku Klux Klan. It was done, and the tree was a symbol of the lynchings and everything like that.
That's very. I
Yeah,
never
never
thought
heard
about that.
before. Well,
Nah.
that was something I heard like when I was in 5th, 6th grade.
I feel like I heard something about Timberland. I thought it was gonna be like, you know how they be like, there's an hour and $1 bill type shit.
Right.
And I was like, but the tree was like to symbolize
Oh,
the noose and
I was surprised. There's a bunch of subliminals.
So when you see those things, like they don't bother you at all. Like,
give a damn. I'm not buying Gucci anyway, so
yeah,
another reason. Like, oh yeah,
I've never
Okay,
seen anything
okay.
Gucci that's fly.
What do you
Oh,
feel
no, now
about
we lying. I
the
definitely
public outcry of the people? Like, do you feel it's all in vain, or can you get behind some of these protests?
I mean, my protesting is to stop spending my money. I feel like the only way that people will actually move on anything is if you stop giving them money. Like, it was Martin Luther King was running around for years before he did the Montgomery bus boycott, and that's when shit finally got handled. I mean, like when you start messing with people's money, then that's when shit gets handled. Like all these, I did a protest when I first moved up here. I forgot what it was. But we did a Black Lives Matter walk in New York. I was like, I'm never doing this shit again because we did nothing. It's cool, like it causes like awareness, quote unquote. But they like people know like when they're doing wrong and stuff like that. Like it's not like we all have a conscience, like whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Like we know,
Right
like
from
deep down,
wrong.
you know right
Yeah.
from wrong. You know,
Yep.
like you can't tell me like the most wicked person in the world, like. They know when they're doing wrong and they know when they're doing right. Like they feel that. That's just like basic instinct. That's like human instinct. Like
You know, I've been thinking about like protesting. Like I kind of always did bad shit, like the ones like in the streets with the signs and stuff like that.
I don't do nothing. For
it
me.
does, yeah, but I'm kind of more for like the social outrage on like the internet because I feel like more shit gets exposed to the internet than it does a fucking walk down the street
mean,
with
But
signs.
sometimes it's just like so much misinformation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you never know what's really true or not.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll ever be a shift in the world where they'll all come to a common ground and
No.
as people will all be connected in some way?
No,
Or is it
not.
just
Not in my lifetime.
because I feel like racism starts at home, right? So like a little white kid or whatever will hear their parents saying all these offensive words, and it's like parrot syndrome. They'll just like repeat it back to themselves out louder in their head, and it'll be ingrained into their brain for the rest of their life. So you can't really stop that. You don't have people in the homes. So yeah, is there really any hope for
Yeah.
change at all, or will
No.
the cycle continue?
I don't see it breaking. I mean, I'm also not in that field, but at the top of my dome, I can't see something that will stop 7.8 billion people from thinking like they hung Jesus. Like,
Yeah.
the man had no flaws. Like, if they hanging Jesus, I know they're gonna hate me.
yeah.
Like, you can't get along with Jesus?
yeah.
I know I'm about to be hell.
Yeah.
So go and get that out there. No, I don't think it's ever gonna be something like that. I mean, I would like to, but realistically, like,
It's just not happening.
being aware of my surroundings and the times I live in is not happening.
I'm curious, what maybe one or two pieces of advice you would give to upcoming, not just photographer, creative, trying to get into their field that you learned on your journey to this point?
I learned a lot.
It's a very tough question.
I mean, I learned a lot of shit. About just being creative is like, yo, like I said, don't force it. Just naturally create what feels natural to you. I used to be a guy that would like look at my peers' work and try to replicate that and be like, oh, this is mine, put my own spin on it. And I mean, I read a book called Still Like an Artist. It was talking about like that idea, but like the blatantly like just like, for example, I feel like me and my homeboys, we was talking about some photography trends that was hot, and I remember it was like a time where everybody was like shooting on a ladder or whatever. Like everybody, I felt like it was like a lot of photographers, like a lot of not important, but a lot of big photographers doing like the same like concept, like a ladder or whatever. I was like, yo, this is the trend. And I was like, yo, let me go get a ladder. I'm like, yo, why am I getting a ladder? Do I really want to create with this ladder, or is it kind of like I seen this dude post a ladder pic, he got 7,000 likes. I'm like, yo, I could do that better, and go get a ladder, and it's not really what it like authentic to me and whatever. So focusing on, like I said, knowing what's authentic to you and not forcing anything, knowing what your niche is, and knowing what you're trying to do and what your purpose in creating is very important. Like just having a beacon and knowing your voice, which is hard because a lot of people don't know their voice. I mean, I don't really know my voice. I'm finding my voice, and I'm getting a better feel of my voice. But once you kind of like tap into your voice, like trying to get more and more loud, I guess. I don't even know what I'm trying to say at this point. Yeah,
I got it, though.
Yeah, you feel me? I
I
Sure,
feel
yeah.
you. I feel you. I feel
I
you.
rambled off in the last 30 seconds, but
do you encourage like people to step up to that leadership role like you've done?
I mean, do I encourage it? I mean, I
Yeah.
would like everybody to be a leader, but again, I know people. Some people are not leaders. Some people are
Nothing
followers.
wrong being an Indian out there, people.
Yeah, nothing wrong. I mean, like I feel like people have adopted more to the follower role. A lot of people say they're leaders. There's not a lot of leaders in the world.
Exactly.
I feel like 95% of the world is followers. Like especially like on social media and like one person's opinion and everybody's like, yeah, I agree. and stuff like that.
Oh my God. And that's why I love reading the comments like under especially big people on Instagram. Like do you follow Cast Facts?
Mm-mm.
There's this guy in Cast Facts. He's like a relationship person, I guess. Has a book out. But I love reading his memes. I love going in his comments because it's kind of funny to see like some women just blatantly lie in the comments. I'm like, maybe they're not lying, but it's just like everybody drinks Hennessy. Everybody does this. It's like. It's like people be looking for the hookup and the connection in the comment. They be shooting a shot. And,
choose
or
me.
trying to be thank you to choose me. Choose me.
Yeah.
I'm better than this. Or let's say the meme is about a female who has food stamps. I ain't got no food stamps. I work every like, bitch, who gives a fuck? What a bitch with food stamps? Cause I'm hungry, okay?
Yeah, I wish I had food stamps. I used to have
Seafood
food
on
stamps in
you
college.
tonight,
You
okay?
gotta keep up with your image, like on social media. Like it's important what people think according to these people. Like you gotta keep up with your image. You gotta
I'm broke,
maintain a
baby.
certain lifestyle to get popular. That's what
mean,
people think.
I mean, social media, in my opinion, is nothing but the highlights anyway. So you
Yes,
only gonna put
it
out
is
your
the highlights.
you only gonna put your awards. I mean, I try to do more like my failures too. Like I got denied from this program that I applied for, and I put it on Instagram like, yo, Because a lot of people hit me up all the time, like, yo, life is amazing. I'm like, yo, it look amazing because I always post amazing stuff, but like, I get more no's than I do yeses. Y'all see the yeses, but I get a lot of no's. I was like, yeah, I want y'all to see this. Like, I applied for this program, they told me no, and they sent me an email, whatever, and I posted. I was like, yo, like my life's not sweet. Like, the thing is, like the winners and like all the winners that I know, Nipsey Hussle and Jay-Z and Oprah and all these people, like they all say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's not no secret formula. Like, you'll just get back up and keep doing this
Yep.
shit. Like Michael Jordan, everybody, Beyonce, like just keep doing this shit.
Keep doing it. And I think that's a lot of people fail and they forget. You can't keep watching somebody else's success because you don't know what they did to get there.
Facts.
It's just like you can see the most flyest girl, and I'm not saying, when I say this comment, don't take it personal. Don't. You can see the most flyest girl, but you don't know how many dicks she had to suck to get that Mercedes and to get that or to get that. Or you can see you just don't know people's situation.
Yeah,
and I feel like we're in this era where it's just like social media will make the most securest person feel even the tiniest bit of insecurity if they're looking at what other people have and wanting that.
It's hard, like, because I do that a lot. I definitely compare myself a lot because I feel like what I'm doing is very genuine and very important and very necessary. But in my perception, I see people doing things and just popping overnight, perceived to me as overnight. And I do get a little salty because I feel like I should be where they're at, but I do agree that like comparing to yourself is definitely a dangerous.
I'm telling you, once you change that, you're gonna see the whole difference.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it.
It's gonna be like once that mentality changes, everything's gonna shoot up.
You mentioned Nipsey more than once, man. I need to know who your top 5 rappers are.
Of all time or right now?
Currently and all time, please.
Artists or rappers?
Let's say artists.
Artists?
Yeah.
Travis Scott's my favorite artist right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a huge Travis Scott fan.
Was it Astro that made you feel that Astro World that made you feel that way, or you was just always a Travis Scott fan?
I've been rocking with Travis since 2013.
Okay.
I had my first Travis Scott was "Drugs You Should Try." I heard that song first, and I was like, "Oh, this is fire." My boy Nate back at the crib, we was smoking whatever. That was my first time hearing Travis Scott. I was like, "Yo, this is super fire." And I heard "Drugs You Should Try," and then he had dropped "Don't Play" with Big Sean, which was on the Days Before Rodeo mixtape, which was super fucking fire.
I think it's his best project.
Days Before Rodeo?
I think it's his best project.
I mean, all his projects are fire, though.
But I feel like up until Astro World, everything kind of sounded the same to me. Not in terms of, like, content, but, like, I don't know, just the beat selection kind of sounded the same. I just feel like Astro World was completely different.
Are you a Kanye fan?
Sorry?
Are you a Kanye fan?
I love Kanye.
I'm torn. Maybe taking away his antics, yes.
Yeah, you probably got that effect because he writes for a lot of Kanye.
Yeah.
Like 808s and not 808s. Yeezus was all like Travis Scott. So like his sound is in a lot of places. I feel like.
Yeah,
but his sound is Kid
he
Cudi's
gave it
sound.
away a lot early on in his career.
Yeah, and it went very viral. Or not viral, but it went a lot of places. So I feel like his sound, maybe not necessarily like he was repeating his sound a lot, but you just heard it a lot at that time because, like I said, it was a lot of artists that was using his style. But yeah, I love Travis Scott. That's my guy.
4 more you can give current artists?
Current artists. Nipsey. That's my guy too. T-Pain is my guy. I was listening to NPR. It's crazy because he has a show tonight, and I actually RSVP'd, and I forgot about it. And they said, Google.
Oh, damn.
But my homeboy is crazy because when we was talking outside, my other homeboy hit me up. Was like, he got a show on Friday too, which is I love T-Pain. That's my guy.
I respect that. A lot of people don't give T-Pain his credit, honestly.
T-Pain is one of the most. First of all, he's the most influential artist coming out of Florida.
So that's what this is like. It's Florida love.
Florida love, and for T-Pain, I love T-Pain because just his music in general. I mean, I rock with him too because he's a Florida boy too. But I mean, like, just like there wouldn't be a lot of these artists. And the thing is, like, T-Pain didn't need autotune. Like, T-Pain can sing.
He really can. Yeah.
He didn't need that. So it was like artists we wouldn't have no Future, wouldn't have no Travis Scott. I doubt, as much as I love Kanye too, I don't think he would have found 808s and Heartbreak, that sound or the auto-tune by himself. Like, he
definitely an influence for sure.
Yeah, he definitely used that influencer.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on a limb out here and say I think Kanye would have found auto-tune without him. But all right, yeah.
You think he would have?
Yeah.
I don't think he would have.
Only because Kanye has, he samples a lot of old school music, so I feel like auto-tune was back then, around back then too.
He hadn't sampled it yet. As far as I know, T-Pain brought autotune, because even when autotune was out, like, it wasn't used like how T-Pain used it. 808s was out, but like how like T-Pain used it on his voice to sing, I never heard that before.
Then Jay killed it for a little bit.
Jay killed Auto-Tune.
Auto-Tune.
Yeah,
for
Death of
a
Auto-Tune.
little bit,
No,
yeah.
I mean,
For a little bit.
I don't think he killed it because he dropped Death of Auto-Tune in 2000 and because I remember Lil Wayne dropped the Drought 3 and he had the Death of Auto-Tune remix. So I had to be like, oh, 9.
I feel like
I love the
T-Pain
Drought
went away.
3.
I feel like T-Pain went away for a little bit after Death of Auto-Tune. I
I
think that's
mean-
when he tried to find a new sound.
I do think T-Pain went away for a little bit, but I don't think it was because he. I think it was because he found a new sound, but I don't think it was Death of Auto-Tune. Because you gotta realize T-Pain was running music for like 2 years. You remember like 2006 to like 2008 when him and Lil Wayne was on every song. And they had T-Wayne and like he was like him and Lil Wayne was like on every song, every damn song. Like I'm pretty sure he just got outworked. I mean, I overworked. He was just like tired, like all them hits.
That happens too, I'm sure.
Yeah, facts.
So Travis, T-Pain, Nipsey.
Travis, T-Pain, Nipsey.
I'm surprised you didn't say the obvious, like the Kendrick, the Drake, the Coles.
I was gonna say them, but they're just so commercial. I'm just thinking about who I'm listening to like right now. Those are the artists like I listened to all 3 of those today. I also listened to Wale. I listened to Ambition again recently today.
Great song.
The album.
The album in general, yeah.
Ambition was a great song. That I was on Apple Music and it was like came up with a playlist. I was like, yo, damn, I forgot about this project. And I went to the actual album. The album was amazing. It aged so beautifully.
I wish that guy would get some more love while he's still here, because I think he's on the way out of music. I think he's gonna stop making music very soon.
Yeah.
And I think
That's
that's what
his
Cole
own
Cole should
fault.
do the same too. I feel.
Like when you say making music, like retiring,
I
like
wish you stop saying Cole needs to stop making music.
No, not I'm not. I don't. I love Cole, but I just think he
That's
doesn't
like
even
I
seem
said.
motivated anymore. Like he doesn't seem.
I feel like
If he's not gonna switch up, I don't want to hear any more Cole. I don't want to hear another album of just Cole production, just Cole vocals, just Cole no features. Like
he tweeted today that he's going. Oh, did he tweet? He said something today.
he said it in a GQ article,
Yeah.
but I want to see it.
I feel like Cole has been telling us, it's like Malice from Eclipse. Certain artists, they come and they tell us from the very beginning that they only gonna give us before they have to go, because a lot of them are already battling between this whole God thing and shit. And I feel like J. Cole, since his very first mixtape, has been telling his fans like either he gonna be a real nigga or he gonna be a man. And I feel like that has always been his battle. And as he has evolved and come, albums later, the man we see now, I kind of expected to see this person. I kind of expected to see Dirty Dread, oversized T-shirt J. Cole, because he's been kind of telling me he's been struggling for a while with the decision of how he wanted his life to go. And then I also say that to say Clips from Malice from Clips. I feel like he was the better two of the twins. But my man had told me too, listen, I'm going to be with God now. I ain't got time for this music shit no more.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you pay attention to your artists, they kind of tell you within their lyrics. Like DMX is another one. He's been telling us all his life, like, either I'm going to be right or I'm going to be totally fucked up. Whereas he's trying to get right now, but there was a point when he was totally fucked up. But they warned us.
I'm not the biggest, I'm not a stan Cole fan. I'm definitely a fan. I personally haven't seen any real growth. The content has definitely gotten better. The times have changed. He's grown as an artist. He's been through a lot of addiction and all that. I definitely appreciate him speaking on that in the last album. But just compared to his peers, there's no real growth.
Who's
to
his
me.
peers? His peers is, in his class is J. Cole, Wale, Wiz Khalifa. Where's Wiz
Yeah.
Khalifa's growth?
In terms of content, it hasn't changed at all. But I
Exactly.
mean, I don't listen to Wiz like that. I'm talking. Oh, let's talk about the main. Let's talk about the
Wale
Wayne.
let his depression get the best of him, because I always feel like Wale was a very strong contender, but he let being a follower fuck him up.
Let's talk about the big three: Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole. Drake changes he can adjust with the times very well every year. Every summer there's a new sound. Drake can adjust with that, get on the remix very well. Kendrick, he's on another level every album. Like you can't even describe his sound with one word. Like he can go through different vocal pitches. J. Cole has the
people be on
same.
Kendrick's dick for no reason.
What do you mean?
That's just me. I'm not really a big Kendrick fan.
I seen a tweet the other day. Not to cut y'all off, I was listening, but I seen a tweet the other day. It was like Rick Ross's. What's the discography? How you pronounce it?
Yeah.
It's better than J. Cole's and Kendrick. And
Rick Ross is definitely one of the best at picking beats. Like he picks some of the best beats that people probably never heard. He's an underrated lyricist.
I think we
Just
all
like-
get
just like
confused by
Jay's.
that. I feel like I've been confused with great production. Sometimes the production is better than the artist.
lyrically, though, I mean, I hear y'all, but lyrically, like I was listening to Rick Ross's Teflon Don the other day, and
Okay.
Port of Miami, like that's a great
Miami,
album. Like
Mastermind, like he has
Yeah.
a lot of hits. I'm telling y'all might want to just It might
I'm
be the
not
Florida in
saying,
me.
You know, it could be the
Oh,
Florida
yeah,
in
Flo-
you.
yeah,
It
he
could be
is
the
from Florida,
Florida
damn.
in you.
But listen,
Yeah.
when I think
I'm
about
not
it,
saying-
'cause J. Cole has had albums that I thought was super trash, and Kendrick hasn't really had an album that I thought was trash. I will say when To Pimp a Butterfly came out, when it first came out, I remember listening to it. I was overseas when I first came out. I remember playing it, and I think what happened was like it was like a lot of like super like hardcore hip hop that came out. And, like his shit came out, it was like super poetry. I was like, yo, this is not for me, but I'm gonna come back to it later. Maybe
Let
it will
me-
be for me.
That's more than
Let me
just
be
music. That's
very
one of my.
clear here.
That's probably top 5 albums of most of the last.
Yeah,
generation.
that's my favorite
Yeah.
Kendrick
I
album.
love J. Cole. Don't like none of his albums. Now, they're cool. I am a J. Cole mixtape fan.
You never liked any of the albums, or they just didn't age for you?
They're cute. They're cool. I think that the only album that I probably would be like, I loved it in a sense because he gave me that mixtape kind of feel was K.O.D.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And again, it goes back to me loving all his mixtapes.
Mhm.
But and I love J. Cole because he has such a dirty mouth. Like people think, everybody love their artists for different reasons. So lyricists and all that all comes into play. I'm not saying J. Cole's not a lyricist. I'm just saying I stand for different reasons. I can openly, honestly admit, like, yeah, sometimes he's boring.
Yeah.
He's easily forgettable. But that's on these albums. Like I'm just a fan of his early work, and I feel like
Those
a
days
lot
are
of
gone.
people, and those days are gone. Like even Wale, his early work, his mixtapes, a lot of them don't have that same hunger no more. It kind of just fades out, and it makes me wonder, like when it comes to Drake, how the fuck does he still have that same hunger?
I don't think he's hungry. He just adapts to his surroundings.
You mean
It's
hungry
like
to
that's-
keep going?
Yeah, like does he have that much to say, or does he have that many writers?
I feel like Drake feels like he has more to prove because he doesn't have a classic album. Like people would say Take Care.
So
But
far gone.
He doesn't
I
have a
feel like-
classic rap
Again,
album.
I have to go back to
And
the
he is a
mixtapes.
rapper.
I don't think
so-
he's a rapper. I think he's an artist. He's a musician. I never
He's an
figured
artist.
Drake was
Yeah.
a rapper. He's a musician.
I only call you a rapper if you write your own lyrics.
Yeah.
You don't think Drake? Okay, hold up. The whole ghostwriting thing, that's a problem for you?
I mean, you're not a rapper. You can be an artist. Ain't nothing wrong. It's
like
just a different
that.
category.
It takes
Yeah.
some sort of skill to read and make it sound good, someone else's words.
Yeah,
If Cardi
an
is
artist can
cute-
do that, but a lyricist, a rapper, writes.
Cardi
Is
goes
an artist or rapper to you?
Who?
And I feel like hip hop has changed. I feel like when it comes to hip hop, rap, and music, you can categorize everything now because, like you said, you have artists, you have musicians, you have rappers,
Mm-hmm.
Drake
and
is
then
an
we got
artist.
producers.
Drake is an artist.
I see, but I from my perception of Drake and seeing interviews, I feel like he still feels like he has something to prove as a rapper.
But he's only ever worked with 40 in a sense. Like,
Yeah.
and somebody asked me a question one night because I love a lot of Drake's beats with 40, but it's just like, can 40 do a beat without Drake and it still pop?
Yeah, he did a song with some other people on OVO.
Still
Who we
OVO though,
don't
so
pay
it's still
attention
all
to.
the sound though. It's still
Yeah,
that
the
whole
OVO
OVO
sound.
sound, that OVO sound. So it's like, but can he take an artist like, who's your favorite? Or can Nipsey kill a kill a 40 beat?
Different. I don't think so.
You see?
I don't even know how Nipsey's gonna sound with Meek Mill on this collaboration album. That's so random
Is that
to me.
is that a go? Is that officially
It's-
go?
I was all over the blogs from what I saw.
I saw it.
I didn't even know they knew each other. like that was shit. I was
They
like,
probably
damn.
met each other through Roddy Rich. I know Roddy Rich is another artist.
Aren't they all at Rock Nation on some level? Don't they all go to this brunch? There you go. Brunching.
I'm trying to get to that brunch.
You want to shoot the Rock Nation brunch?
I don't want to
Brunching.
shoot it. I want to go.
He wants to be there.
I want to be there.
Why do you think you never see any pictures of food there? I always just see people in the suit smoke, but you never see the food. Like I feel like it's trash.
They ate already.
You think Jay Z and Beyonce eating trash?
Man, I
Listen,
never,
I'll tell you one time I went to, they had a
I
Rock
don't know.
Nation brunch in the World Trade Center last year. Not the one that just passed in 2019, but 2018 they had the World Trade Center Rock Nation brunch.
right.
And I tried to sneak in. They was not having that. I mean, the World Trade Center, first of all, I forgot it was the World Trade Center.
So they
Um,
definitely just wasn't
they
having
just,
it.
Yeah,
but
hell no.
they had them things, yo. Them things like bigger than my body. Like,
I'm just trying
Pull
to
a
figure out what
bullet
rich
through you.
people would eat. Like they ain't just eating regular scrambled eggs and
nah,
shit.
who was it that's like, they never heard of hot Cheetos? They was like Janet Jackson, like, hot Cheetos, what are those?
Yo,
Yeah, shit like the fuck.
I don't
Uh,
care how rich I am. Send me to White Castle when I'm drunk, okay? Pull up. I want my 3 cheeseburgers and French fries.
I can't do White Castles. I pull up on some Mickey D's joint.
I can't do Mickey D's no more. Only breakfast. Give me 3 hash browns.
Nah,
Them hash browns
I'm
is
definitely
fire.
not
Hash
doing-
browns is everything.
Yeah, I wish they would sell them all day.
I've been
They
doing my
do.
Chick-fil-A. even though it's not the same. But I've been doing my Chick-fil-A.
It's not the same in New York, right?
Yeah,
That's why I
no.
refuse to eat it.
It's not the same, but it's do. I got the app, so now I got the app. They be sending me free shit. Like, I guess.
Well, I only eat it when I go visit my sister in PA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that's the same.
Is New York you're here to stay in New York, or do you want to move eventually from New York and maybe go to LA, like,
Nah,
or something
I'm
like
not-
that?
I'm not
Or Florida,
LA.
back to Florida.
LA too fake for me. I'm moving to Paris. Probably next year.
Whose stomach is that?
Mine, I'm hungry as fuck. Damn, that was loud as hell. Like, you heard it through the headphones, through the
Yes.
mic. That's crazy. I got like 2 more questions and then we can get out of here. I know it's getting mad out here. That's embarrassing as hell.
Oh, shit, I heard.
I'm like,
Thought my shit was tuned out.
You could cut that out and use that clip of my stomach growling. Like, but you're moving to Paris? What the
I'm
hell?
moving to Paris. Yeah, Paris is super lit.
I can
I've
see
been. I
them-
went there
can
last
see
year.
you
I
doing
love it.
that.
What were you doing out there?
I was on vacation.
Okay,
I went to Paris and Barcelona last year.
I love Barca too. I was gonna move to Barca too.
I think some of my best photos were taken in Barcelona.
Your best photos?
Yeah.
You know, Barcelona. I'm a Barcelona fan. That's my football club. So I went to Camp Nou to see Messi and them play, and it was super fire. I just like the culture of Barcelona because I went to Madrid too. Madrid is whack. I love Barcelona, but Paris, I just feel like I just connected, yo. Like I got off the plane. I've been twice now, and both times I went. Like the first time I went, I was there for like a week, and I was like a jit. So I was like, okay, this is cool, but I felt something. And then I went back, and I felt that same energy again. It's just like it's an old country, old city, whatever.
Architecture's
Yeah,
beautiful.
architecture's beautiful, but it still has like modern, like it's up to date, but it still has that culture and that history and stuff like that. I just connected with it. I felt like I was supposed to be there. So I'll probably be like bi-coastal or some shit like that.
That's crazy.
Bi-continental.
So I guess, what are some of your other goals in 2019? I guess one of your goals would be getting yourself financially into a position where you can move to Paris. But what else do you have for yourself? I mean, 2017,
And
you were on,
Brandon, I know he wants to brand himself more.
yeah. Like, so 2017, you were on the train trying to figure it out. 2018, you kind of had to figure it out, but now is the year to
2019.
execute. So on the train in December, where do you see yourself?
That December be crazy for me. December, where do I see myself? I mean, I'm just working on some small things, more projects, more campaigns. I'm trying to do more, just more campaigns. I'm trying to work bigger. Like I said, I've done like social media and a couple print ads, whatever. I'm trying to get like billboards in Times Square type shit. You know, it's the typical photographer dreams, whatever. That's my commercial dream. But again, I'm trying to get into fine arts or whatever. So gallery, I'm trying to plan out a gallery. That's something that I'm trying to speak into existence. Going to that fine arts. I went to Art Basel. I got invited to the Basel in Switzerland, where the original Art Basel was at. One of my clients is over in Switzerland, and they invited me out to Switzerland in June for the original Art Basel that they do.
Jesus Christ, you live a good life, man.
Isn't Tina out there? She's a citizen out there for Switzerland.
Who?
Tina Turner.
Is she?
Yeah.
Pull up
didn't
on Tina.
Yeah, I feel like she changed reddits at the I think it's Switzerland.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never been. I want to go.
I've never been either. I mean, Basel's a very small city. It's in between France, Switzerland, and Germany. So I'm probably gonna fly into the Netherlands, go into Berlin, go to Germany, then go into Switzerland, and then leave out of Paris.
Jesus.
Make it like a little Euro trip.
That's dope. So let's say tomorrow you wake up, all your social media, you got verified checks.
Yeah,
You have access to everyone.
trying to get that check soon.
2 questions. First, who would be the first one you try to collaborate with? If you had the access to everyone, you have that blue check. That's a lot of power.
Collab, like with a shoe,
Shoot, yeah, whatever, yeah.
like brand or individual.
Individual, brand,
Um,
put it into the universe. Nipsey.
Okay.
who do I want to collab with? That's a great question. I'll probably make some crazy shit happen if I was shot with Rihanna.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like I can make some super saucy shit with Rihanna.
I guess, and who would be the first celebrity whose DMs you try to enter?
And, you know, I think that's why I chose Rihanna. Let me go back. All right, so I'm probably sliding from Rihanna's DMs. It's crazy. I was talking about Rihanna earlier. I don't think that we should talk about that.
All I know is if 2020 I see you on the red carpet together, I'm telling y'all.
Nah, I would definitely. Who DM would I slide up in? I'm not a DM slider. I'm awkward. But if I could shoot my shot and felt like it was gonna win, it'd probably be Beyonce at that point.
Beyonce?
Yeah, if I'm shooting to win.
Dang.
Hey,
Take it straight from Hov.
hey, listen.
Hov ain't gonna like that. I ain't
Hey,
gonna lie.
Listen,
you-
he ain't mean it, Jay.
You will have a diss track coming ASAP.
Hey, listen. I'll take that.
Blackball from everything.
Hey, take
Right.
that. Hey, listen. I'm here for a good
But
time.
if he steals us successfully, the doors are back
I'm not even
open
trying to
again.
steal it. You just wait, like steal her? I was just trying to holler.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
He said he could. Never mind.
Whatever.
Jesus.
So we have a segment on this podcast that I usually kind of forget to bring up because it's always towards the end. It's called Don't Sleep, where basically we recommend something to the audience that they shouldn't sleep on, whether it be music, food, an experience, whatever. For mine this week is I think people shouldn't sleep on the possibilities, right? I mean, you started kind of from nothing, and 2 years later, here you are, going to Switzerland, potentially moving to Paris, right? So I feel like people shouldn't sleep on the possibilities. I found out recently that the Read podcast, they have over 85 million listeners, and they get 1 million weekly. And now they have their own TV show coming on.
Showtime or HBO.
Something like that.
Yeah, I seen that.
Who's the read with Crystals and
And Kid Fury.
I just want to say that was hard work and years in the making.
That is, but like sometimes people don't, myself included, like we just realize or don't realize that it's possible.
No, it's very possible.
Until you see it
hard
happen,
work
right?
and years in the making.
Yeah, you said something earlier, and I don't think I finished the statement, but you said like they're popping out of nowhere. And I was gonna say there's no such thing as popping out of nowhere. Like it takes 10 years to become overnight celebrity.
My perception is very warped at times because I
Yeah.
feel like because I don't see them and I'm not paying attention, I feel like it just happens.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, they definitely put
And
in
that's
work.
wrong of me to think, but you know, when you as a creative, you're not in the space you want to be, you get frustrated, you start thinking crazy things. It's not
Yeah.
right. I'm working on it.
No, it's cool.
My therapist,
Accountability.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, just I don't think anyone should sleep on the possibilities because it is possible. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it, you put the work in, and you speak into the universe. It can happen. So just work and see where it takes you. Lainey, do you have anything people shouldn't sleep on?
No, not really. Just don't sleep on yourself and don't sleep on in the bathtub. Maybe I don't know.
don't
It's
sleep in the
it's one of those weeks for me, people. So yeah, don't sleep on yourself and stay out the bathtub.
And sir, do you have anything people shouldn't sleep on? Shouldn't sleep on you?
Yeah, don't sleep on me. I'm out here.
Give them your Twitter handle. Give them your Twitter handle, your IG handle, everything. Give them everything.
The brand is created, Created by BY Gerard, Jarrod, created by Gerard on all social platforms. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The brand is consistent.
They can get your booking info and book you for whatever.
Book me for
that's
certain things. You can't book me forever. I'm gonna tell you no. And then don't sleep on. I really don't know what not to sleep on. Don't sleep on. What's something that people be sleep on? You know, people be sleep on Whole Food macaroni and cheese. Don't sleep on Whole Foods macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah, it's fire.
What? Fire. Stupid fire.
I always thought people chose Trader Joe's products over Whole Foods just because it's cheaper.
Well, I do shop at Trader Joe's, but they're mac and cheese. I'm talking strictly
strictly
the
mac and
hot
cheese.
bar,
Heard
like the already made mac and cheese, the best mac and cheese, except for the one on 125. Don't go to 125. But every other Whole Foods I've been to is phenomenal.
Heard you. Well, sir, thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you so
through,
much.
man.
It's
No,
such a
appreciate it.
positive influence and motivation. I hope everybody was influenced today by today's episode and just hearing his story and his journey. I think it's so dope. So, follow him on everything. Check him out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna listen back because he definitely inspired me a bit, and I wish you all the best, man. Hopefully you
All
come
the
back for a part
best.
2 eventually when you leave Paris. You come back home. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. Y'all for having me.
You know?
This is
Word.
super dope.
Wherever you listen to this podcast, please utilize the rating system, whether it be iTunes, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Google Play, whatever rating system they have. Please utilize that because it definitely helps, as well as YouTube too. We're on youtube.com/introvertedintuition. And
Leave us comments.
yeah,
Share,
leave the
like, and
comments,
subscribe.
talk shit, try to hop in Lainey's
Not too much
DMs.
shit. Do not hop in my DMs.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Peace.